Hello and welcome to Revamped, a rewatch podcast covering my all-time favorite shows and movies. I'm your host, Brandon Alexander.
And I'm your co-host, Courtney Autumn.
Together, we've been journeying through Buffy the Vampire Slayer, patrolling the streets of Sunnydale, but now our path expands beyond the Hellmouth as we continue to follow Buffy's battles and growth.
We also step into the shadowy streets of Los Angeles to join Angel on his quest for redemption and his fight to discover what it truly means to be a champion.
Venture with us through every episode in order as we experience the story from two perspectives, Courtney's first time watch and my seasoned rewatch, doubling down on the themes and moments that shape the Buffyverse.
We'll examine pivotal choices, major story arcs, and explore the deeper layers of each show's continued character growth and development.
All while engaging in conversations and sharing our own authentic thoughts and feelings to what's unfolding before us.
So sharpen your stakes, ready your swords,
and continue to stand with us against the forces of darkness as we journey through the supernatural worlds of Buffy the Vampire Slayer
and Angel.
Let's get into this episode. Hey everybody, welcome back to this episode of Revamped. Today we are covering Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Season 4, Episode 10.
Hush.
This episode aired originally December 14th, 1999, and was written and directed by Joss Whedon. We don't really care for him because you know how he acts. I'm saying this to our lovely guest. But anytime I say his name, I usually do that. So everyone else knows, but they don't know.
I respect it.
As you can already hear, joining us today for this iconic Buffy episode is a writer, performing comedian, and co-producer of Chicago's Giggle Hour, the poetry show that's not a total bummer. You may also know her from Instagram as KP Written. Please welcome Kailah Peters and her pandemic cat, Jinx.
I am so happy to be here talking about my favorite thing on the world, Buffy.
Yes, welcome to Revamped and welcome to your chance to shine. Have you ever been on a Buffy podcast before?
No.
No. Do you have friends that you get to talk about Buffy with?
Like against their will, yes.
me growing up. My parents were like, can you stop talking about that bitch if I hear Sarah one more time? Like, we're changing your little sister's name.
I got into it from watching it with my dad, and now I love it like more than he does. And as an adult, I joke, I'm like, Dad, I'm gay because you showed me Buffy. This is like all your fault.
So essentially your father is what brought you to Buffy, and then you just went on a tangent like afterwards, a big run. You ran with it. He's like, I kind of like this show, and you're like, I'm fucking obsessed.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha. Well, that kind of like rolls out our first question that I typically ask our guests anyways. I guess while we're kind of lingering here, what's your favorite season of Buffy?
Oh, see, this is so hard. I kind of want to say season 4 because I think when they go to college, there's like a new energy and adultness to it that I like now as an adult. But then for nostalgia's sake, season 1 is just so classic and the campiness of it hits hard. I also candidly, like, I've rewatched Buffy 100,000 times. I could like recite the episodes under my breath, and I never make it to the last season. I always kind of fall off. So that's my controversial hot take. My other controversial hot take, I don't like Angel. And I know I get like a lot of shit for that.
Mostly from me. That one time we talked on Instagram about it.
Yes.
Oh, that was so funny. I had told you, I was like, you have to watch it just to see some of the crossover stuff that they do. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't fully care for the series. I think you said you watched a few episodes of it, and then like the later seasons of Buffy, you just kind of be like, was I watching something? Like, no, we're going to be on something else. Understood. But just to have like the continuity and like all the stuff that they like carry over, the storyline, the story arcs and stuff, because I can't imagine, me and Courtney talk about this all the time. Of course, she doesn't know future stuff, but some of the stuff that happens between both shows, like especially going to maybe into Buffy season 7 and just coming off of Angel season 4, you would be like, what happened to this character? Like, I'm so confused with them being here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But there's stuff that happens on the other show. So still make yourself watch it at some point in time.
I will sit down and watch it. And I will say from Angel, I like the carry through of the vampire from the first episode and getting like all of her lore. And I think that was a really fleshed out, beautiful character.
Yes. So just to speak on it, you guys, I met Kailah online. I just started seeing your post one day on my Instagram feed, and I was like, okay, Insta follow, because this girl was like atting out and turning out about all things Buffy all the time. She's like 3 posts a day, every day. Like, I got this. I was like, okay, I'm feeling it. Maybe not. I'm being dramatic. But I liked all your little
Buffy
Buffy bits. Yes, literally. Though. I followed you, and then I think you followed me back, and you messaged me and was like, "Hey, if you have guests on your podcast, I would love to be on. I'm Buffy obsessed." And I was like, "This sounds like me trying to like push myself onto other people's Buffy podcasts before I had my own." But I was like, okay, that's cute as fuck because it's perfect. It was meant to be, I think, is what I replied to you, because I was like, when I saw your profile, I already literally thought about inviting you just because of your energy. I was just like, I like her. She's fun. It was kind of the same thing with Naj when we had her back in the day, or like listening to other podcasters. I was like, they would definitely fit our energy, or just like be a fun voice to have. You know what I mean? Come and collaborate with us. Yeah. So that's something I'm really excited about. And I've already asked. I think my next question was going to be, have you been on a podcast before? But you said no. So
yeah. Y'all are the sweetest. Thank you so much. And I'm like just so excited to be here and talk about Buffy with people who like get it. I saw oh my God, what was it? Fuck, what was it called? It was the one like Buffy act that they did in Chicago where like one actor pretends to be Spike and just like explains. Revamped, yes. Oh my God. I loved it. And then I went to my poor friends and I was like, it was so good. It was the kind of thing where like when the crowd didn't laugh, he goes, what is this, season 4 episode 10 of Hush? And that's a joke I love. That's a like KP written joke that was for me. Immaculate.
I love that. That was one of the things that came up when I did my trademark search to double check on my end that I wasn't stealing anyone's podcast names that other people apparently do not do in life. But that being said, I was like, okay, well, that's in Europe. It's a stage production, but that was because of the Juliet Landau scandal that we're not going to mention, because that was all 3 seasons ago for us.
Yes.
Do your research if you really want to know. We'll have a text conversation one day and I'll fill you in on the juicy goss.
You can go to the whole Reddit forum.
She's our sworn enemy because she has the same name as us, but she was with Julia Landau. But I was like, girl, we're not going to go there.
Well, she lost a lot of followers and a lot of podcast subscribers over it.
She really did.
Let her true color show, and the people said we don't like it.
Yeah, but we are revamped.
I want the tea on this.
us and this European guy, which I don't think that stage production's on anymore, but I saw some clips on it, and it is really funny. Just to bring it back to kind of what you commented on, it was a funny show. If I lived overseas, I would probably have went to every I don't know if it's the same bit that he does all the time, or if it's like performances that he changes up, and it's like a little handful of them, because a lot of those things end up being rehearsed or something. It's like the Vegas shows. It's the same show every single night and stuff, with maybe minor changes here or there.
I got the sense that it was that, and it truly is, like, if they come around, because he came to Chicago and did it for, like, a week. Just one guy explaining all seasons of Buffy. That's all it is. I loved it. I was so obsessed. I got so much merch after. I was like, yeah, I will pay so much money to watch someone explain a show that I've seen a million times and love.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is because I skipped this part in a way, not really, because we kind of bounced around on your Buffy stuff first, but is there anything that you would like to tell us more about yourself, or KP written, who you are, what you do for life things?
Yeah, so I am as you mentioned, writer, comedian, performer. If you want to see me live, I produce a comedic poetry show called Giggle Hour at the Lincoln Lounge in Chicago the first Tuesday of the month. It's silly hee ha-has. It's just so dumb. If you want to see me on the internet, I talk a lot about Buffy online. It'll be a little bit more of my PG-13 appropriate stuff. But if you want to get a little rated R, you can also follow me and catch shows around the city. I do stand-up comedy. It gets raunchy. That's what there is to say.
We love raunch.
I love raunch. And I guess not plug related, but I have a Buffy tattoo. That is, I can't show you because I've got a sleeve, but it's
rip it off.
Take off your clothes,
girl. You
use a shirt under this.
Oof.
Oh, hold on.
We're gonna strip show you guys. I feel like this is a big deal.
I wish it was video, because I would have put sexual music.
I know. Right?
It's a wooden stake with a banner that says 5x5.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, of course. Obsessed. Well, if you start to get cold, just pull your blanket up over your shoulders. Then you need to remove half your clothing. She's wearing a lovely Buffy season 2 halter top.
Thank you.
Anything else that you wanted to spot for yourself before we move along?
I think that's it.
Okay, cool. That's Kailah, you guys. She's our new best friend. I have her number. It's official.
Signs delivered.
Let's get into the episode. In this one, a mysterious silence falls over Sunnydale, leaving the entire town unable to speak. As Buffy and the Scoobies investigate a series of gruesome murders connected to a group of eerie fairy tale creatures known as the Gentlemen, Buffy and Riley are forced to confront hidden parts of their lives neither has been ready to reveal. With the Gentlemen collecting hearts and the body count rising, the gang races to uncover how to stop creatures that can only be defeated by the very thing that they've stolen. Burner as preached. That's my longest one in a while, but there was a lot to cover. This episode has like so much going on in it.
Yeah.
It does.
Guest stars this episode. We have Fina, and I'm gonna get it wrong again, Arush, maybe, possibly, but she's back as our queen, aka Courtney's yellow dress girlfriend, Olivia. You guys may remember, we saw her in The Freshman. Giles' little girlfriend, love that for him. Doug Jones is portraying the lead gentleman, and you guys may know him as Billy Butcherson from Hocus Pocus. He was that, I don't know what his name is, but he's the creepy creature at the table with the eyes in his hands that puts him over his face in Pan's Labyrinth. He played the Silver Surfer in the second original Fantastic Four film, and he was the creature in the film The Shape of Water, amongst so many other credits, but those are all the things that I've definitely seen with him.
Me being sexually attracted to the Gentleman is not something I expected from this episode, so
this time around watch, or every watch in the
from knowing
past?
it's that guy who was from all of these things, not as the Gentleman specifically, because those teeth are bad.
Okay. Because I was going to defend you, because I was going to say, girl, I talk all the time about naughty things I would let Vecna do to me from Stranger Things. So I'm like, it's giving the same kind of vibe, just
It's
less
on that
tentacle
energy.
type
Yeah.
thing.
I typically like scrawny, dead-looking guys, but not like this. So I'm not gonna hate on it. Doug is really cute. He would look super cute when he was younger too. But I always I don't know. I'm not even gonna go there with the type of guys that I like. But to finish off with Doug, he was cast as the lead gentleman primarily because his natural, unprosthetic audition smile terrified Joss Whedon. Because he's got a chiseled-in, contoured face. He was a mime growing up. One of his first career field things, he was a mime. And Camden Toy, I do believe. I think that's how they met and became friends. I might be wrong. I probably am, but who knows? If not, I put false information out there because I love to do that. But speaking of Camden Toy, he was portraying Gentleman number 2. These are the only 2 gentlemen that really matter. There are obviously 4 others in this 6-man group, but these are the 2 that get the most screen time. They're typically doing the most stuff, all the things. The other ones are just the little side silhouette dudes. But Camden Toy goes on to play 3 more monsters in the Buffyverse in the future, so we cannot speak about that currently. And unfortunately, he has passed away. I want to say it was back in December of 2023 from pancreatic cancer at 68. So rest in peace, Camden Toy. We're going to give this episode to you. I was going to give this episode to Anthony Head because this is our first episode recording since he has passed away. But, in a couple weeks, we'll be covering a new man. So we'll be talking about that with our guest then, just so that way you guys, we gave our moment to Xander. I think Nicholas Brendan was Fear itself whenever he passed away. We were doing that episode. So we gave him a whole moment of silence. So we're going to do that clearly for the Giles-centric episode. Now that I've told Courtney what 2 episodes from now is going to happen, so she's going to nail that Slayer at prediction. Sort of. And then obviously our final introduction for a guest cast is Amber Benson is here to play Tara McClay. She starred alongside Eliza Dushku in the film Bye Bye Love whenever they were preteens, I do believe, or very young teenagers. She was in a movie with James Marsters, Second Chance. She's written, she's produced, and directed within her career, worked on musical projects with Anthony Head, and a handful of other stuff that are way too much to list. And then also for spoiler territory, I'm just not even going to go there either to talk about it. So maybe we'll talk more if we see her in the future.
Yes. If you haven't seen the still of the movie she did with James Marsters, where he's in a dress and she's dressed up as a man, that somehow explains my sexuality. So I'll text you the photo. It's so good.
I don't think I might have seen it. I don't know. There's so much stuff. Obviously, being Buffy obsessed, we tend to support every person that's ever been on the show, even if they were just in a minor 1 episode villain. You know what I mean? I know stuff about the lady who played Natalie French in season 1 that I should not know. And mostly from the podcast, but even before then, me and Courtney were talking about how hot she was and all this other stuff. We were talking about we were going to be obsessed with her. It's just a whole thing back in the day. Yeah, I think that's pretty much covering all our interest stuff. What did you guys think of the episode?
Nick, next time I need someone to forewarn me when there's going to be I don't know what to call him, I guess demon that looks this particular way, because there was just something. That's why you made that face when you're like, I didn't know it was going to be sexually attracted. I was like, girl, no. It was like the worst time you could say that out of all the episodes ever, other than what's his name in the tub with all the rolls.
Oh yeah,
with all the rolls. Oh, Balthazar.
Yeah.
I shot that ball.
Yeah. Other than that, but yeah, they just, oh my god, they gave me the creeps and that they cringed me out and all the things. Like, it was definitely working for a scary kind of episode, because I was like, I'm genuinely frightened, even though they're moving at like 1 mile per hour. Like, they're not going anywhere anytime soon or anywhere fast, but they're genuinely scary. Like, I feel like if I was younger, especially like, I don't know, any younger than 15, watching that episode, I would have nightmares about them. Like, genuinely.
Really?
I feel like they would haunt me in my sleep. So anyway, beyond that though, like you said, this episode like went into a lot. I feel like just out of the normal chaos that we have. So I'm excited to like unpack a lot of those things.
When we went to the Buffy prom for buffering, and like I pointed out that one person, I was like, oh, that's a gentleman from like the episode. They did like a full like cosplay of the character, and it was really bad, but also like good. Like, it was not of this quality.
One of the best.
They did some weird thing where they like put one of those bald caps on their head, and you could tell their hair was like awkwardly tucked underneath it. And they just, I would have went the extra mile and had like a full set. Like, I'm a cosmetologist also, like I said, 18 years of hairdressing. So I had like plenty of makeup artist friends. Like, we would have been here for 6 hours doing my makeup before I went.
Brandon would have like duct taped his hair to his head.
I would have
found a way to actually like float through the room.
Oh, well, I'm a witch.
I know,
too, so
like
I
those little street artists, you know, that like are just like, they look like they're levitating,
look,
and then you see all the people like walking all the way around them, and they're like, how are you doing that? I'm like, I would love to freak people out like that, especially dressed as the gentleman, because it would do the trick.
Okay, and then I guess my secondary question, just like to elaborate more on the episode, because I know it's a lot to try to talk about at one time, especially when we're going to walk through it. What did you think about this being like, so this is an iconic episode, just to like set this up, you know this. I've told you since the beginning, you've heard a lot of other people comment on it. I've told you in the past, and especially as we're leading up to it, if you ask a Buffy fan, like, what are your top 5 favorite episodes, this is typically always within the first 5, just because for what it is, it's so iconic in that way. So figuring out what that meant, and seeing that this is a silent, dialogue-ridden episode on a show that's very privy to their dialogue heaviness. Like, they're the writers on this are so quippy. Joss himself is awesome in those ways in the past, before we knew what we know now. But like, that being said, it's a silent episode.
That's not an element I was expecting, obviously, because it is such a pivotal kind of episode. And so the last thing you're expecting is for it to be the one episode with like the least dialogue and lines and stuff like that. But it's interesting too to watch how they're still able to communicate with each other, you know, outside of the obvious things like writing stuff down or drawing pictures or whatever. Like, you can almost tell who is really connected to each other, like in their dynamic, because like I feel like you and I, Brandon, would do well if we couldn't speak for a day, because I feel like you could just look at me one time and be like, oh yeah, I got you. You know what I mean? It could be any random thing. Like, it could be like the cat feeder's about to go off, and I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yes.
But I like that it exposed like the things that aren't so obvious about some of the dynamics within some of the cast. Mm-hmm. And I guess what will probably be a change in Xander's relationship dynamic and how that shifted, kind of almost in a subtle way. And all those things that happened in a more subtle way, which I kind of liked because of that element of the fact that they couldn't speak. So there's lots of action going on that you have to pay attention to, but there's so many little things going on in the background that like change everything, you know? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be silent, but in a way I'm glad it was, because it makes you pay attention more to what's really going on with everyone separately and together. Yeah, I'm excited to see where things go, because I hate that they left us on such a cliffhanger, because that's the only thing that pissed me off, because it just seemed like they were going to give us another minute or two, you know, and then they were like, psych.
Which is so fun how they play that out, because I told you when we watched it, I was like, on an episode where they couldn't use their voice for so long, you think now they'd be able to speak, and yet like they can't even babble at this point, because that's where they talk about in this episode, they every time they get around each other, they can't seem to express anything, and they also can't talk about what's going on behind the scenes that they can't give to the other person information wise, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I like the realness of that moment too, because like you just said, they just spent all episode long not being able to say anything, and all these small reveals kind of happened that you can't in real time be like, hey, what the fuck, like you normally would. And then when you get the chance, it's such a real human thing to be there, and it's almost like you can't tell if they're in that moment of like, who's going to go first? Are you going to start this conversation? What am I going to say? What are you going to say? What am I going to say based on what you're going to say? It's like all these things that are happening that you can just feel in this moment of like tension. And I love that the show is so good with stuff like that. It's so like well written, even though no one spoke hardly.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's just iconic and one of my favorites of all times. It's one I think about like on a regular basis. This time watching it through with like a more critical eye was really interesting. You mentioned the gentleman like being terrifying, and when I saw it as a kid like the first time, truly nightmares. They were so scary. And then I told my boyfriend, I'm coming on the show, we're talking about this episode, let me show you a clip. And he laughs and goes, this looks like the kind of makeup you'd get at like Six Flags Fright Fest. And I was like, yeah.
Hey, sometimes that's scary too.
And it is.
Maybe I'm just a wimp.
No, they're creepy. Oh, floating old guys. I hate them. But it's so fun. And seeing the like build up of Buffy and Riley's relationship and how the pressure and suspense that goes through it, beautiful. Also, and like, I'm just like TMIing and telling you way more about me than you ever need to know. The like opening dream scene, my note for it is what in the wet dream, and like realize I've had so many dreams inspired by that scene because it's so like locked into my brain. It is iconic.
Nice.
What?
I mean, honestly, I would definitely, Mark Blucas, I think, is hot, and I would definitely absolutely go lay on that desk in an instant for him just to say ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because I didn't write anything in my notes about that, but going there. We are a Go There podcast, by the way. Say whatever the fuck you want. Give as much detail as you want, because if it's vulgar, I won't clip it. That's my motto. If they don't want to listen to it, they can fucking leave. They know what they're in for at this point.
Great. I mentioned I do stand-up comedy, so it's gonna get raunchy, but
listen,
yeah.
That's something I actually was really excited about having you on for, is just the fact that you mentioned in your messages that you were a comedian. And I was like, oh my God, I know like there's going to be something punchy that gets said, or maybe like within their notes that they take, like that's going to be so funny to like hear possibly what you come up with. I was like, we need to get you to do like a stand-up Buffy show for us like one day or something like that. Like,
I would love to.
Invite you to one of our Instagram lives.
Yes.
I wrote down a lot just because I was like, how do I articulate like what I want to say about this episode truly? But the first thing I was like, how cool is it that even an episode like this exists? Like, obviously, as we've already alluded to, and I can skip and paraphrase, like this is a dialogue heavy show. The fact that they make one of the now most beloved episodes not have any dialogue is just kind of wild to witness. So I remember taking this in the first time around being so excited that 20 minutes into this episode, no one's talking anymore. And Joss had said that he wanted to challenge himself because the show was known for its writing and conversations. And out of that challenge, we got Hush. I love this episode. It's like one of those episodes that people point to when talking about the best of Buffy for good reason. The actors do such a great job too, I feel like, conveying everything without having to say much of anything. You still understand exactly what everyone's feeling and thinking just through their expressions, their body language, and their reactions, and you don't get lost within it. Because if other shows were to do this, I feel like sometimes you would miss something. And they even down to the way that they're enunciating their lip movements and saying things like, I think Buffy and Willow in the room whenever they first find out they don't have it, like Xander and Spike in his bedroom or basement, when not really a bedroom because he's not in the room anymore, he's kicked out the house, but they convey everything so well. And that's, I think, for me, someone that just I'm a very artistic person, we all three are that are here as an artist. You like to be able to see something like this. It's just captivating visually and audibly, like all the things, but not even audibly, because now we're relying on scores of music to help carry these transitions to speak on that now too. Like the score for this episode is iconic, like the Buffy CD. I know there's a handful of them out there. I'm talking about a specific one that I cannot name right now, but that one has a few scores on it from iconic iconic episodes, and they put the Sweet from Hush in there. And I used to just play that on my CD player, like on the bus ride home from school. And I'm like in my head, like imagining all these demons and stuff attacking. Same thing with any Buffy score, but like it's just extra. And I guess I'd like to say that too. There's also a lot of memories tied to it because me and my sister watched this episode growing up over and over and over again. Like we did other ones, like we've mentioned in the past, like Living Conditions and Prophecy Girl, like some of those. It's just like one of those ones that you want to put on repeat, and not for any big specific reason, I feel like, you know, except for the ones I've already kind of listed. I found myself even this time around too, really liking the fight scene that we get, like the fight at the end choreographed between Riley and Buffy. I think Sarah and Mark's energy on screen together, like bobbing and weaving in and out of each other, like that's something that Mark had never done before. We haven't spoken to it because haven't given him his full flowers yet, but I've heard reviews and stuff, or he's been on other podcasts. Like back in the day, Buffering, I think, did a interview with him, and he mentioned that Joss had told him that when he comes on the show, no one's going to fucking like you. Don't read online. Obviously wasn't a big thing back then. He's like, but don't pick up magazines. Don't read about what people are saying about you because they're not going to like you because you're Buffy's first person since Angel. So that's going to be a whole problem. But he was like a basketball player before he got on this show. This is like one of his first acting jobs. So to watch something like this, because we've seen him fight a little bit, mostly Buffy in the hallway and blinded by the smoke and all that stuff back in the initiative. But we haven't seen him do this much, and he holds his own so much on this episode. So I was like, I'm really here for like Riley, and I wouldn't say I'm a Riley stan, but so many people call him cardboard without spoiling too much. And I'm like, y'all are just people that hate it because y'all want Buffy to be with this person or this person or this person. Like this is the one normal relationship she kind of gets in a certain way. So and again, it's so hard to talk outside that spectrum, but so I'll leave it at that.
As a hater of a lot of things, and I'm not going to talk about anything that hasn't happened. I'm very on my mind, but I think Angel is cardboard. That's my controversial take.
You and Courtney both high key, low key.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything. Oh, you're just here to be brooding. Whatever.
Yeah, I get sentimental because when I was a child, like I just grew up like, and everybody on the podcast knows this, but like season 1 and 2, just the interactions between him and Buffy and the damned if you do, damned if you don't catch-22 vibes between they're like, they just can't be. And I love a story like that. I think that's why I really like the show on the romantic spectrum of what it does, because they give you something and take it away and all that. Like that's been my whole like life. So I resonate really strongly with that. So I always obsess.
I was literally about to say because it is so like a mirror to Brandon's relationships.
But if you want my hot take,
I think Brandon Buffy, that's doing that. Brandon's like, I'm going to give it to you and then I'm going to take it away.
No, but my hot take is I like Buffy doesn't need anybody. Like she should like probably. I mean, I would love her to have someone, but any of the people that we ever see her with, like I'm just not really the hugest fan of her being with them. I think she deserves so much better half the time. So just doesn't always happen with anybody on this show in the right way, as we all know.
And I can agree with that. I like the way the show explores what it means to be like a strong, powerful, confident woman in a relationship, and that like just a lot of the partners she gets are insecure around her. And like Xander's a great example. I know she like isn't with Xander, but his crush on her the whole time and like wanting to save her throughout high school. And it's like, bro, you can barely open a pickle jar. She's actually a superhero. What are you doing right now?
Oh shit. I was just like thinking back to the fact that when he couldn't open the peanut butter at the end of the episode where they're all making sandwiches with Buffy at the end of Helpless, and he's like, Willow, can you open this? Like he's all about let a man help you. And I'm like, this ain't no fucking man. Like, come on.
Yeah, give it to Buffy. We all know.
You mentioned Buffy being like such a strong person, and something else I wrote, and this is obviously every episode, but something specifically for this time around, I was like, Buffy's job feels more important this episode, or shows us how important it is, because usually the danger I feel like is more isolated. Maybe it's like a vampire attack, it's one location or a specific problem, more so the Scoobies are dealing with, but here the entire town is affected by what's going on. Everyone's confused, like they're quarantined too. We see that on the news where like no one's getting in, no one's getting out. The whole town is like, and then all of a sudden people get their hearts cut out and they're reading it in the newspaper. The fuck? Like, how do you handle something like that? And Buffy herself like is highlighted in her sense of slayerness within this episode, because she doesn't stop and wonder if she's capable of helping. She just immediately kind of goes into protector mode, and that's something I really like, because coming off the past episodes of Buffy that we've seen, she's usually very hesitant on like going into her stuff. Now she hasn't been that way in a while. Like season 3 really honed in on that stuff, but this one I don't know, just it's another foot forward for her in this direction of like, I'm the Slayer, I'm owning my power. She's this powerful force all by herself.
She is that girl.
She is that bitch. But yeah, the villains can only be defeated by a human voice, obviously, which is one thing that nobody has throughout the episode. And she's still out here trying to save people on the streets during that process. You know what I mean? Like, she's told that they can't be killed by the natural things, but yet she's going out to hunt for them still. As you know, Riley is too. Obviously, he's getting orders from someone. Buffy's not getting this order from anybody. Giles didn't tell her she had to get out there and patrol. She holds up a board to herself that says, I should be out there. Like, and that's just something I wanted to speak on her and give her flowers for, because I love this version of Buffy. And this is pretty much carried on now throughout. You know what I mean? Like, it's really strong now at this point. So I wanted to call that out. And then just to speak on the communication, that's something I found myself thinking about more this time around. Communication is obviously such an important part of every relationship, no matter like whether that be on a TV show in real life. If you're not articulating things, even if they're hard to say, like, it causes issues, whether that be on the fun side of things, the like, you know, upsetting type of things, whatever it is. I feel like I always connect with this episode because of how they have to force communicate, like what's going on with Buffy and Riley's situation. Then you get, like Courtney said, Xander and Anya. Anya's clearly stressing for Xander to pull out some stuff to let her know how he's feeling, and he doesn't really know how to say it, I guess, so he has to display it later in a different way. So both couples are trying to figure out what's like where things, I guess, are going, and they don't know how to communicate it. So once you strip away the need to just have words to say something, that's when interesting things can kind of come up. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, if I wasn't able to communicate with my words, what would I do then? Like, to tell my partner like something that was bothering me, or tell a client something that was on my mind, how would you express that if it really was taken from you? So that just like makes this episode that much more interesting.
And sorry to throw in, thought that applies to our new character Tara too, because when you meet her, she like stutters and is really shy and afraid to talk when people are looking at her, and only gets through because there is no voice, you know?
Yeah, that is true. Like in an episode, for a person that's like that, she's brought into something like she already doesn't like to talk, so she's probably like, this is perfect, ain't nobody gotta talk to me, ain't nobody calling me out, I ain't gotta show that I have a stutter, because you know most people are probably insecure about that. Like I didn't even really, you know, put it in my mind in that way, that she's introduced that way in this episode. Love that.
Yeah.
I did go on a little bit of a like research thing, and I found this site speaking to Hush, and it was this girl named Vivian Asimos. She had a whole like thing on communication and storytelling in Buffy's Hush. She said there is a field of study called body lore, a subfield of folklore studies which focuses on the nature of communication of the body. The ideal is that folklore, like stories of other sorts, as I've mentioned on this channel many times before, is not limited to text. It's not just the written story or the read story that is folklore. Folklore is often lived out in the body, through the way we dress, through the way we move, and even the way we eat. Hush helps to communicate stories through this concerted effort of bodily storytelling, relying on movements, facial expressions, and other forms of bodily performance to tell the story. What's interesting about the episode is that there are many elements to the gentleman's existence in Sunnydale that goes unaddressed. We don't know where they came from, other than the vague idea of fairy tales. We don't know why they show up at all, or why they want the Seven Hearts, and we don't know when the gentleman could show up at any given town. The only thing that matters is that the gentleman did show up, and now Buffy has to deal with them. I'm like, why are the gentlemen here? Giles said that they've come to a town before, but like a girl, you know, used her voice and they went away, whatever the case may be. I'm like, is this a new group of gentlemen? Are they like something like, if you've watched Charmed, those little dudes from like the first season that reappear in the Halloween episode in season 3 that we thought they were dead, they like strangle you. I don't know if you are a Charmed person. I can't remember their name. They start with the G, and I'm blanking. I used to know this, like, they're the creepy pasty white
the ones in the sewer.
Yes, in the sewer with the tuxedos on and the black eyes and stuff. They steal people's sight. The Grimlocks, that's what they're called. Laura, but like those come back after they vanquish them. So I'm like, is this that kind of situation? Are there multiple groups of gentlemen out there? What do they do with the Seven Hearts? Why do people's voices harm them? Do they just have really bad, like, I don't know what auditory wise, what I'm trying to call that, because I'm a massage therapist and I should know anatomy. Like, what is happening in their ears that causes their eardrums to bust and their head explode? Like whenever they hear, even us just having a conversation, Buffy screaming like that almost makes me have a headache. So I get their heads exploding at the end of the episode, but like they can't even tolerate us having this conversation right now, like at normal level volume wise. So like, what is it about them? I guess it's not important to the episode. We just know that there's going to be monsters. You know what I mean? I really do kind of need to know, because Courtney knows I'm always this person that's like, I need to know like why they had a sandwich on the table and they weren't even eating it. Like, I want to know all the practical reasons for things, because that's my Taurus ass. But I don't know. I was just like, but I guess we don't need the explanation.
Gentleman lore, because they say they're from fairy tales. I don't know which fairy tale this is from. I've never heard that lore.
Right.
I want it.
With the show doing that really well too, like we've seen in the past, like whenever there's a lesson going on, whether that be like what Professor Walsh is talking about in the beginning of the episode or back in the day, that's always what the episode's themes and metaphor has to do with. You'd think they would have like put something in there or actually pulled from lore like they did with Hansel and Gretel back in the gingerbread episode for that demon, or plenty of the other demons that we've got. I don't know. They just didn't do that. We're just like, we're going to have a silent episode. They're going to do this. Buffy and Riley are finally going to kiss, and then we can move on with season 4.
Yes. It's a testament to how much credit the show has that they could just be like, it's from folklore. No further questions. Moving on. Next.
Exactly. Yeah. And that being said, moving along, let's actually do the episode now. Into every generation, Kayla wishes that was still a thing.
I do.
Remember when I used to do that, Courtney? All right. Professor Maggie Walsh begins class with a lecture about communication language and the thoughts and feelings people struggle to put into words. To demonstrate her point, she unexpectedly calls Buffy to the front of the room and asks her to lie down on her desk. Riley is then called in to participate in the demonstration, and she comments how this is strange, and he asks her not to worry, expressing if he kisses her, it'll make the sun go down. He leans in to kiss Buffy as promised. Darkness falls around them, and the classroom empties. When they pull apart, Buffy hears the voice. Don't let that wet dream.
What in the what? Sorry, Buffy's voyeurism kink that everyone in the class watches her make out with Riley? What?
But then they disappear. Where do they go?
Where do they go?
Buffy said, it's just you and me. When they pull apart, Buffy hears the voice of a young girl singing a strange nursery rhyme, noting fortune favors the brave. Following the sound into the hallway, she finds a little girl holding an ornate wooden box and chanting the infamous song about creatures called the gentlemen who are coming to take 7 hearts. Can't even shout, can't even cry.
The gentlemen are coming by.
Looking in windows, knocking on doors.
They need to take 7 and they might take yours.
Can't call to mom, can't say a word.
You're gonna die screaming, but you won't be heard.
Mia speaking to cadence and y'all bitches did it. Like, I know it's like a nursery rhyme and I can't think of what nursery rhyme it like pulls on. It's like when you do the other songs that are like the lore of like Old MacDonald Had a Farm or like whatever the other one. I don't know what they are because I'm not in nursery school anymore. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like they have that same music that they do, or like songs have the same beats to certain things. You're like, oh my god, this is that song by Rihanna, but it's not. It's the XX, like shit like that. Y'all guys nailed it. I love it. To speak to it, like the fact that Buffy is in this classroom and she's clearly having a prophecy dream. We have not had her have a prophecy dream in forever because she sees these creatures in her head. She sees the box. It's like her Slayer power telling her beforehand what's going to happen. And I kind of love that for her, but y'all got to give this girl a little bit more. Like just a couple little cents. Like you could have gave her the slideshow that Giles is going to give her later in her head, like in the dream.
Buffy's so smart. She doesn't need that. Like you get one cryptic song.
I mean, apparently, but like back in the day, Giles is reading out the book, The Slayer's Gonna Die, and she overhearing it and over here blubbering and crying her eyes out, ripping her damn necklace off. And I'm like, girl, it is not cheap to replace sterling silver. Now we got to get a whole new class. Like, no. Either way, the fact that like prophecy is such a big thing on this show, and we know that that's such a big thing with the Slayers to get these like visions and things like that too when something really big is going to go down. I love the fact that she got it.
One of my quotes that I wrote down is Giles, it could be one of your prophetic dreams, it could be the eternal mystery that is your brain.
I wrote that down too.
Our pre-final slaves. But yes, it applies here.
Yes.
Riley approaches her from behind within the dream and touches her shoulder, but when Buffy turns around, she finds herself face to face with a horrifying, grinning, gray-faced figure. Buffy suddenly wakes up in class, realizing that the entire thing was a dream. As class ends, Willow teases Buffy about sleeping through the lecture and missing important information for the final exam.
Man, that was an exciting class, huh? Oh, yeah. Wow. In the last 20 minutes, it was a revelation. Just laid out everything we need to know for the final. I'd hate to have missed that. Just tell me I didn't snort. Very discreet. Minimal drool. Oh, yay.
Buffy brushes it off and admits she had a particularly intense dream. Riley joins them and reveals that he noticed her sleeping in class so peacefully. I like how he's like, yeah, really, because you look so peaceful. And I'm like, damn, everybody calling her out right now. And I love Willow's whole like moment too. Like Courtney even commented on it when we were watching it. You know, Willow was over there taking secondary notes for Buffy anyways, because she saw her girls sleeping. Willow's like, ooh, extra work. I love this.
Literally.
The conversation turns flirtatious when he asks whether he appeared in the dream, and Buffy admits he may have had a featured role but refuses to elaborate. The two continue walking together after Willow leaves to go attend her second Wicca group meeting, but not before lingering behind a bit to watch Buffy and Riley like the best friends she is, and excited for how they are both clearly interested in each other, though they've been unable to move things forward. Can't talk today. I like that moment whenever like we see Willow kind of like creep back, and then she's like standing over there on the side and she's got her little purple notebook up. I love how I'm like acting it out, and I don't have a notebook in my hand, but she's like hiding behind it. I was like, I know Buffy sees your ass, and she's like, bitch, you need to calm the fuck down. Outside, they continue to walk and talk, Buffy and Riley, and they talk about the evening's plans, and Buffy accidentally blurts out that she's going patrolling that evening before awkwardly correcting herself to petroleum. No clue what the fuck that means, but I guess that means tonight she has crude oil. Whatever also that means. She's a mechanic now. She's Buffy the mechanic. Buffy the engine slayer. Riley lies about grading papers, and both are obviously hiding the truth about their lives. As they part ways, Riley almost kisses Buffy, but the moment slips away when she questions his story about grading papers since they only had the midterm. Riley fumbles through the excuse of it being old paper, saving his ass, and frustrated, she watches him leave and mutters again to herself that fortune favors the brave. We fade to black and cue the Buffy theme. Meow, 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 meow.
That's way more cat than guitar.
I know, I do that on purpose.
We like cats around here, and Courtney likes it a little extra.
I did it especially that way for you, though, because
Thank you.
you're like a cat lady, clearly. So.
She went to pull in her cue, and then she heard you do that. She's like, wait a minute. So I'll laugh instead. I love that. What was I about to say? Fortune favors the brave. I've always kind of wondered why Buffy said that, and I didn't know. I know now, and obviously, as we do on the show, a vocabulary lesson with Brandon, like that is translated as "fortune favors the bold." It's an ancient proverb meaning those who take risks, act decisively, and confront challenges head on are more likely to succeed than those who hesitate. I feel like Buffy's use of the comment, both in her dream and here, is like more than a casual proverb, because it's kind of reflecting her willingness to take a romantic risk with Riley, and also kind of foreshadowing the episode's deeper themes of communication, secrecy, and its vulnerability that goes along with communication. I feel like as both Buffy and Riley had crucial parts of their identities from one another, and then they're robbed of their ability to speak, that phrase suggests like true courage will not simply be making the first move, but ultimately being honest enough to reveal who they are and forge a genuine connection therefore, because like I said, that person has to take a risk and confront a challenge to be able to succeed. And like, I don't know how I just didn't know that, because it's kind of within it. You just have to think about it and become analytical. And I feel like that's something that the podcast has done so well for me, especially like you said, looking through a critical lens on the show. You pay attention and sit and think longer when you're writing something out to them what it is. And I was like, I never knew what it meant when I was a kid. I was like, why is she saying that? Like, me and my sister would be looking at each other. I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? Like, why does she even say it in the dream? I get her using it in context here, but I'm like, that's a prophecy moment from the dream too. Like, girl, your dream's trying to tell you to kiss this boy. Go suck his dick in the back room, get it over with, because we know he's got a firm 8 inches, like at least. Look how tall he is. Them hands. Anyways. My good ass. Moving along though. At Giles, he receives a call from Buffy, who tells him about the dream and the rhyme. Giles agrees to research it, though he admits it could simply be one of Buffy's prophetic dreams or just the eternal mystery that is her brain, aka one of Kailah's final studies. Hanging up the phone, he turns his attention to Spike, who has become entirely too comfortable living in his apartment. Giles asks if Spike's ever heard of this group called the Gentlemen, and he denies having so, but Spike is far more concerned about the lack of Weetabix in the home and horrifies Giles by explaining how he likes to crumble the cereal into blood for texture, and Giles notes that he can go get it himself. I didn't know what Weetabix was, and I guess within that, like online, it said it was a cereal, and I guess it's something like from, I don't know, the UK or something like that. I thought it was like, maybe it's supposed to be like Chex Mix or something, but for something in my mind, I was thinking like more of like a, I can't think of what those crackers that we have here in the States are that are like kind of woven and stuff. They're not like a Cheez-It or not like a regular cracker. But you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Are they Wheat Thins?
Wheat Thins. Thank you.
Yeah.
I figured maybe that was what he was talking about because like texture wise and stuff. But I'm like, apparently it's a cereal. So like Spike is eating his cereal with blood instead of milk. Like,
that's so funny.
It's a choice.
It's insane.
Assessing the scene though, like this dynamic is so funny because one episode ago, and pretty much the whole time Spike's been paralyzed on the show, we'll put it that way, because he's incapable of doing anything to harm people. You know, they're tying him up to chairs, they're chaining him in bathtubs, and that was last episode because Buffy's taunting him. She's like, look at my neck, like blah blah blah, and he's like, you can't make me miss passions, like I'm gonna be pissed off. Like now he's out just free roaming around the house, eating up Giles's food. Giles is clearly annoyed, but also is letting him. He didn't tell him, like, you notice you're free now. You can run out the door at any point in time. Maybe that's why he unchained him, so he'd leave, and now he won't. He's just eating all his food now. Like, I was like, the fuck? But I low-key think because Giles has been bored this whole damn season so far because he's got nothing going on anymore. He's not in the Watchers Council. He's not working at the school, so he's been trying to figure out how to, like, what his place in the world is. And I guess right now he's like, okay, well, this is kind of like my roommate. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna like have this banter, even if it's not fun. I'm still gonna entertain this just for the fact that I'm lacking in life right now in my interactions. He's like, at least I don't have to hang out with Xander.
Some people get a dog. Giles gets a defanged vampire. Like it's
his pet.
Retirement, right? Yeah.
Who needs a cat when you could have an immortal bloodsucker that can't suck blood? Quite lich. I don't know. I thought it was really funny because I paid attention to that more also around this time. I'm like, oh yeah, he's not chained up anymore. Now he literally is just like a stand-in, like just hanging out. But obviously, like I've told Courtney, they put him in the show a little bit more to kind of be that like insert, like him and Anya are filling that gap that Cordelia left when she left the show, because she's always that person calling out and like being spiteful towards the gang and telling them they're stupid or whatever the case may be. So that's pretty much what he does. But once again, just like we saw in Something Blue, just like we saw in Pangs, Spike is adding so much to everything that he's doing on screen within the episodes still. So I'm happy that the continuation of him is still here.
I love it. Did y'all already get into like the lore of how he became a regular on the show?
Like speaking to like Joss saying he wanted him dead and like how he ended up sticking around and stuff, or by what lore do you mean? Because I've told Courtney some stuff.
I guess generally that, he wanted him dead, and then he just kind of like killed the role and became a fan favorite. And Joss was kind of like, I guess we have to keep him.
Yeah. And this was like what I was telling
now
Courtney.
He's just there.
I told Courtney back around probably the initiative or so that Spike's role on the show becomes that much more, because, you know, we didn't see him after season 2 except the one episode in season 3, and now he's like back on the show for season 4, and he had the crossover episode over on Angel, and we know he's got so much more history that we could explore. I'll put that way. So it's interesting to like develop him more within the show. So yeah, in ways like that, she's like mentioned or got it mentioned to her of like kind of why he's there. And now she's finding out episode by episode how much he sticks around. Because Loki in her mind, she's probably like, when is he leaving again? Because like I said, we got all of season 3 basically without him.
Go find Drusilla, do something.
Thankfully he's kind of over her because he does not talk about her anymore.
Does not.
Thank God.
Thank God no one does, especially us, except in the beginning of the intro that I'm going to clip.
No one knows.
I'm not going to. Out in Joyle's. I wish Joyce was here. out in Giles's courtyard, Xander and Anya arrive in the middle of an argument. Anya is frustrated that Xander never openly talks about his feelings, noting that she feels he's using her since he doesn't seem to ask about her day. And Xander makes jokes in light of her pain about how she truly is a real girl now, thus proving her point he doesn't really care about her at all. He ensures he does, and she wonders how much as he struggles to answer her questions, which again only reinforces her concerns. But he wants to push the convo off for later, but she's extremely against that and thinks that they should talk about it now, which means their argument then follows them inside, where it quickly becomes uncomfortable for everyone involved as Anya continues on about Xander's feelings and how all he cares about is sex, aka
If you don't need me, all you care about is lots of orgasms.
Okay, remember how we talked about private conversations? How they're less private when they're in front of my friends?
Oh, we're not your friends. Go on. Please don't.
This is important.
Yes, but why is it here?
Mom said you wanted me to swing by.
That pause. Spike lifts up off the fucking couch and is like, what the fuck is about to go down? And you can tell he's got the Weetabix in his mouth and he's like, bruh. Like, I'm surprised it didn't drop out his fucking mouth. Giles is like, why are you in my house talking about this? He even says that in a second. And then Xander, of all people, turns around and looks at her bitch ass and is just like, you remember that conversation, that I said, like, how things are less private when they're in front of my friends? She's like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Anya goes, I said what I said.
So on the side of Anya for this, so right? I mean, can we blame Anya? She just really wants like some kind of affirmation of like, what are we? She asked that in the beginning, yes. And now that she's starting to understand it slightly of what like, because we know Anya, she does not know social norms. She does not get it. He could have literally looked at her and be like, yeah, I care about you. Like, obviously, clearly, he told her a couple episodes ago that you're like a crazy girlfriend. And she's like, I'm a girlfriend. And he's like, well, yeah, basically. So that made them official. She's like, you don't ask about my day. Like, she wants to know that he cares. Mm-hmm. I guess is the best way to put that. And he could literally just look at her and like affirm, I literally care about you. I can see the fact that I don't actually ask you, and maybe I'll take initiative to start doing that. Not that we expect Xander to say that, because we're expecting him to grow up, like, period. ... But it's like interesting dynamic wise, because he is a boy that's coming off of like teenage years. He's still obviously an 18-year-old. This is his kind of first real relationship since Cordelia, and Cordelia said everything for the two of them. And if they were saying anything, they were combative with each other all the time, so they had no problem expressing. But now he's possibly got these genuine feelings that he might need to like express, and now he doesn't know how, which then gets obviously into our theme, like I said, for their dynamic of them not being able to communicate and how like they do it later. It's interesting to kind of put it here now for later, if that's the way to put that, No,
you got me feeling sympathetic to Xander, which never happens.
Okay, so having called Xander there, Giles reveals he needs Xander's help in the form of him taking Spike off his hands for a few days because Olivia is coming to visit from England, and he would like some privacy while she stays with him. And Anya kills me because she looks at Giles and just goes,
oh, you mean an orgasm friend?
Yes, that's exactly the most appalling thing you could have said.
Giles kills me. And like just him saying that, and then also coming off of him being like, he's like telling Xander, like, besides I need you or whatever, he's like, yeah, well, mom said you called or whatever, said you needed to talk to me about something. He's like, I need you to take Spike for a few days. And they're like, what the fuck? Why? And the whole conversation that's going on with Xander and Anya when they come in, Giles is like, yes, but why is it here? Like, why are you having this conversation here? He's like, well, mom said you wanted me to stop by, yada yada. That's how I needed to put that. But Giles is just fed up with all these people. Like I was saying earlier, he's so lonely and stuff. I don't get why he's entertaining them and why he doesn't like kick them out. And I also got to shout it out because I'm going to forget. Whenever they come in, he's like, thank you for knocking. Like, because remember back whenever Anya just busted in on Halloween, he's like, the fuck? Like anytime she comes in, she just walks in. Like her first episode, what was it? The Harsh Light of Day. I think she just walked into, and I'm just like, no one knocks at Giles' house. Lock the door.
You live in a town famously full of monsters and demons. Lock the door.
Yes. What is going on?
Yeah.
He's like, I've got a vampire in here to protect me.
You can't do anything.
Oh, true. In no way are these three remotely enthusiastic about the arrangement, and the argument grows even more chaotic as everyone voices their displeasure, while Giles desperately tries to ignore them and continue his research while they bicker. That bicker back and forth, like Spike talking about, I'm not having these two shag while I'm tied to a chair 3 feet away. And like Xander talking about, that's not exactly one of my fantasies either. It's like, I'm like, y'all think he's going to be fucking her while he's in the chair? Like, unless he's into like, because voyeurism is where you like watch people do stuff like that.
I'm realizing there's such a theme of voyeurism in this episode.
That would be more like the cuck chair, because technically voyeurism would be like Spike looking in on those vampires eating on things.
Yeah, voyeurism is like
someone
not knowing
you're watching. But it is still in the realm of voyeuristic life, just like having the ability to like watching people do this type of thing. I'm like, no one would want to watch Xander have sex in general. Like, I'm not trying to see that. So like Spike definitely ain't gonna want to see that. Like Spike also asked them to push you away or something like that. I don't think they're gonna do it. Like I don't know. It was just like a funny bit to hear all of them talking. Anya's even in on it. I'm just like, you guys, this dialogue is so funny.
So good.
Back at the college campus, Willow attends her Wicca group meeting she joined, hoping to learn more about magic. Instead, the meeting evolves around bake sales, newsletters, and empowerment slogans. Also, who the fuck left their candles dripping all over this bitch's woman-empowered shrine? Because clearly that's the fucking issue at large. That bitch kills me talking about that shit, like popping it in there too, slipping it in there, and in the mid of her sentence, I'm like, I can't stand either. I would not, I'm a practicing pagan. I would not want to be anywhere near these groups. Like Willow and Tara all day. But these bitches, that one bitch, she comes out of the meditation talking about, I think we should have a bake sale. Bitch, no. Like, I mean, I'll take your empowering lemon bunt or whatever the fuck it was. Like, make me some cinnamon rolls, please.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're here to talk about. Did you put like some mugwort in it? Is it going to make me have lucid dreams later? Does it have amethyst crumbled on top? Like, I need to know. And I also need you to get out this group because you clearly, what does Tara say? I think if they saw a witch, they'd run the other way.
Yes. Not helping
Literally,
at all.
though.
Can I derail with like an on Buffy related story?
Sure.
I do like simmer pots around my apartment and got herbs from a friend, and one of them was mugwort, and I did not like Google it beforehand, so I did it in a simmer pot, and it is a mild hallucinogenic, which yeah, I should have known. I like simmered it, filled my apartment with this, and then took a nap and had like the most insane dream where I just like kept waking up trapped like Inception style on my couch. And like the next day was like, what? Oh, I hotboxed my apartment with a hallucinogenic. That's what happened. That's what I did.
I drink it as a tea whenever I want to do like a deep, like, I wouldn't say a meditation, but something that I'm doing like intention-based work with some of my practice and stuff like that, because it does induce that type of stuff. Sometimes for dream work, I have it like that with amethyst and some labradorite in it's by my bedside now. I'll point them because my bed's back there. Yeah. But you guys can see me, they can't. But I have it hanging on my wall. But like, whenever I'm like having bad dreams or just like upsetting stuff happening, or I need to like go there in my dreams, I'll put that under stuff because mugwort is very powerful. I'm surprised you fucking like, I do that with my catnip. I put it in my aromatherapy diffuser, so that way my cats get high that way versus putting it in front of their face, because one of my cats just wants to eat it, and then she'll make herself throw up because she's ate so much catnip. Like, I'm just like, girl, we do not need. She'll rip the damn toys. I can't get the toys that come with it because she will tear them open to eat the catnip out of the toy, and I'm like, girl, you're gonna have a staph infection in a little bit, or a yeast infection, or a nip infection. Got a nip problem.
You gotta calm down.
Speaking of calm down, though, these bitches need to calm down. Willow suggests discussing actual spellcasting and magic. She's met with laughter and ridicule once she does. That head bitch is so fake, too. She just comments,
oh, yeah. Then we could all get on our broomsticks and fly around on our broomsticks.
You know, certain stereotypes are not very empowering.
Every time I've ever watched this episode, she irritates the fuck out of me, as I've already said. But this time around, I was like, okay, bitch, sure, it's a stereotype, but it's legit. Like, witches are real. You, however, clearly are not. And to you, other hoe, no one cares about your empowering lemon butt cake. Like, had to. I'm going to rip onto them in a minute, but amongst the comments made, one shy appearing girl in particular, Tara, seems interested in what Willow has to say and even attempts to speak up in agreement, but her shyness prevents her from finishing her thought. She's clearly shy, and this bitch calls her out passive aggressively, like the one time she actually wants to speak up too. Like, that is something that always irritated me more so about these bitches in this group, not just the beginning stuff that I've said, like, you fake and poser ass bitches, like, I get that side of it, but the fact that someone that you know in this bitch has the audacity to go, oh, everybody quiet, Tara has something to say. Girl, I wrote my notes. Like, I have never wanted to backhand a woman so much in my life as much as I did right now. Same. And I know a lot of bitches. I'm a gay guy who has nothing but girlfriends. Just not in the way my mama and daddy wanted me to have girlfriends. Like, and I've never wanted to hit like somebody as much as I did her. I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up. Like, you're so rude. And that's just something to me. Like, again, with communication is so important. This girl is finally feeling safe and empowered. Speaking of empowerment, like, to speak in front of you, to feel safe within this group. And then you're like being a bitch to her. I would have left that group so quick. But, you know, Tara's like trying to just get in where she can fit in no matter what that means. Thankfully, she meets Willow out of this, and then both of them bitches can walk out of this group. You know what I mean? Like, but I was just like, who does that to someone?
A bitch.
Oh. Well, okay, never mind. I guess we know. Oh no, it's just wild. Willow acknowledges the girl, but unfortunately for her, leaves disappointed, realizing that she's not going to find magical connection that she's been looking for within this group, as I've said 1,400 times now. Later, Willow vents her frustrations to Buffy on the way to their dorm room about how she'd hoped to find real witches and real magic within that group, but instead found people more interested in talking about witchcraft than practicing it. And Willow is bummed because she wants connection with others within her practice and would like to float something bigger than a pencil someday. Had to put that in there specifically because one, loved the callback to whenever the fact that when she can float pencils and she's slayed vampires with them, but there's a little bit of a foreshadow here for later as well within that too, obviously talking about the vending machine that we see later. I would like to float something bigger than a pencil one day. Like, we could see her try, and then, you know, we'll talk about that when we get there. Courtney got a glimpse of Buffy and Willow's back of their door within this episode too. Like, it's always been there since the beginning of this season, but she loves chocolate. So she's like, oh my God, I want that chocolate poster because it's got all the ornate like chocolates and like the kind of like whipped, like, I don't know. It looks delicious. I would probably be staring at them. They probably got like every single, it's like that, I don't know what they're called right now, but they're like the box sets that you typically get at Valentine's Day that people give you, and you like pick the thing up and it's got all like what
like
chocolates and which one, and it
Yeah.
gives you all the names and what's inside of them and stuff. You just know that chocolate poster has like, I don't know, it's like an herbalist thing, and it lets you know every single like actual clinical name to every single piece of chocolate and like what ingredients within them. So I was like, girl, get it.
Yeah, I had to go back and find that. I was distracted by the Dingo Ate My Baby poster.
As you said.
I saw that and I was like, I need one. I got to buy that. That's actually really sick.
I have a Dingo's Ape. I don't know if it's the same artwork. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the poster that she has on the wall because clearly she's still a fan. Very supportive, like in all platforms. Even if the guy left her, she's like here for it. Cheated on her, you know, with a werewolf. He was banging out that werepussy, like all the things. But I found it's in my cart on Etsy. There's a girl that makes different printed tees, and she has a Dingo's Ate My Baby shirt that's like iconic, and I was like, I have to get that for myself. So that's for me to order the next time I want to splurge on something on Etsy. The conversation shifts to Buffy and Riley. Willow points out the obvious chemistry between them, but Buffy admits that they never seem to get anywhere, Willow encouraging them to get on with it so she can live vicariously through their smoochies. Buffy admitting every conversation eventually turns into awkward babbling, and every interaction requires her to lie about being the Slayer, wishing that she could simply tell Riley the truth. We get a little round of cutscene transition magic to Riley, where he is having a remarkably similar conversation with Forrest as they close out a sweaty workout sesh in the initiative. Of course, I had to label it as that because this is where I took notice to like, this is where my wet dream comes into play. We get some interracial like things going on here. Hot 6'5" men, big hands. You know the story what I said a little bit ago. Again, people, by the way, love the fact that we were talking about me being horny like 2 episodes again, Courtney. I've got to read you the Spotify comments and screenshot them and send them to you because people are living for like us getting raunchy in the past 2 episodes. That being said, you know who you are. You know you love it. But they're walking around in the initiative and talking as Riley confesses that Buffy feels different from anyone that he's dated before, but the secrets required by the initiative life make honesty impossible. Both Buffy and Riley want a relationship, a real relationship, but both are trapped behind walls neither can bring themselves to lower. Forrest's solution is simple: get with the kissing. Riley laughs it off as they move into the elevator to head upstairs. I like that because actually I'm kind of noticing it now within my statement of what I wrote because I didn't have notes about it. The fact that Forrest says get with the kissing, that's what they do when they can't communicate anymore. They just go right. They like, I mean, they have like, you know, dialogue within themselves body language wise and like not vocally, like mouth wise, quite literally, no pun intended. But I thought that was interesting that he kind of almost foreshadowed the fact that they were going to kiss this episode. And then coming from someone like Forrest, which we have some stuff to talk about, Courtney, whenever we get there, but there's a whole thing about Forrest that we're going to discuss, and that's going to be very interesting. Okay. A lot of the fandom, I don't know if you know about all that, but okay, I'll go ahead and say it now. Everyone thinks that Forrest is gay for Riley.
Oh, I could see it. Yeah.
Based on everything that kind of
I never thought about it. Yeah, but
Put that as a breadcrumb for you now. So that way, when we get to it later, you can be like, I see it. Because it's very much there. Not like written in subtext, but it's just kind of there before our eyes. I'm like, you definitely want that BWC.
Yeah.
All the things. That evening, Xander ties Spike to a chair in his basement before going to bed. And Spike insists he doesn't need to be restrained. It's not like he would bite Xander even if he could. But Xander isn't taking chances and disagrees, noting that he would bite him because he's moist and delicious. Doubtful. Once the lights go out, Spike amuses himself by mocking Anya and her insecurities until Xander threatens him into silence.
Xander, don't you care about me? Shut up. We never talk. Shut up. Xander. Shut up!
I died. That's probably one of my favorite moments from the episode. I bet you for an hour, Spike fucking permeated his mind, just saying shit or just like saying anything about anything to keep this motherfucker up. So by the time he finally dropped out, that's what I would do if I were Spike. I'd be annoying the fuck out of this little boy.
He's got to be evil however he can, you know?
Literally. The fact that Xander just wants to go to sleep, and unfortunately for him, Spike doesn't want to do that, so he's just like gonna fuck with him. I just like this dynamic because this is how Spike can still be evil. You know what I mean? Like, he can't do it. If he's gonna hurt you, he can't hurt you with his fist, so he's gonna hurt you with his words. Which is really interesting because here in a little bit, no one's gonna have like words. Even monsters lose their voice essentially, or I guess anybody human, like, because I don't know, like demons I guess talk, but I'm like, did demons in this town lose their voice even if they talk like you know what I mean? Like, because like I'm curious if they got their voices stolen too. They just woke up and they were like, what is happening? Quarantine. They're the ones that called it in. Something I wanted to like talk about though is the fact that like Spike obviously is tied up at Xander's house, but did he tie Spike up like to get him there? Did people like see him walking across town? Because I don't know if Xander drives at this point. He's had a car in the past. I'm assuming since everybody pretty much always walks around town, did he like did people see him walking with this strap binded dude and like pushing him along, and they're like not questioning like what is happening here? I know no one in this town ever questions anything, so I'm kind of like doing this to myself here, but I'm just like, I need to see that scene of the transference of him going from Giles to his. Like, was he tied up in the backseat of a car? Did he borrow Giles's car to get him to this house? He's like, just get him out of here, you can have my car for a few. He's like, again, I need to know these things, they're important.
Fill in the details.
Over at Giles, he continues to research, stuck on the nursery rhyme and wondering what the 7 are that they need to take when a knock is heard at the door. He moves to greet Olivia, who has arrived for their visit. After only a few moments of conversation, the two abandon small talk entirely and fall into each other's arms. That ain't all they fall into. AKA Anya was right. She definitely was an orgasm friend, as we all learned back in the freshman. That shit was killing me too, because like Giles, like I called him in the episode because obviously like coming off of high school, Willow makes the comment in the freshman, she's like, he's busy being a gentleman of leisure, and I called him because of that episode with Olivia a gentleman of pleasure, not leisure. They kill me because Olivia, like, she just traveled internationally for that fucking Giles cock. Like, this bitch went across the sea and walked in and didn't have a, you know, when you meet up with somebody like hookup wise, you at least like put on an episode of something, typically watch something, catch up a little bit. She goes after 2 lines. That's enough small talk, wouldn't you say?
I know. Like, damn it, you're horny.
Johnson,
y'all think Brandon's horny.
I just love it though. I need to know the backstory also between like how he met Olivia and what they used to do whenever he was like in England back in the day.
Yeah,
like I need to know those stories because he acts different with her than he did with Jenny Calendar. And Jenny Calendar was a little bit of a freak too. She talking about that dangling that corkscrew from somewhere that we don't know, undisclosed. She was definitely sassy with Giles, but she kind of gave more like white girl energy than this energy that this like goddess lady is giving. You know,
she's a queen. I want to know their relationship too, because later in the episode when she's like, oh, so everything you told me were true, were you just like fucking a man who like runs around talking about monsters and you think he's just low-key crazy? Like, what?
All this time she's like, oh yeah, he really likes all them books that he be reading.
But listen, it justified some weird thing in my brain because I was like, that's how you know men have just been straight up liars since the dawn of time, because Giles is literally here spitting facts at this lady and she's just like, lie.
That dig is good.
And doesn't bother to be like, I'm not going to sleep with you anymore because you keep lying to me. She's just like, fine.
Whatever. That's vampires.
Oh my god, you guys, grand epiphany. That's why she said that's enough small talk. She didn't want him to start talking about them monsters and stuff. She's like, I want to talk about that monster cock.
Like, I'm gonna pacify you.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, well, this is making me happy because we cracked the code. See, this is where the conversation is important.
Yes.
This is what I usually call Courtney's conspiracies, because usually Courtney gets us through those moments when I just can't understand.
I'm always the one that's got to take us all the way home. I'm like, or.
Oh my god, I was going to make an inappropriate comment, but I'm not going to do that.
Do it.
Well, not a really inappropriate comment, but I was going to say instead of or Olivia's is whore.
Yes,
but,
it is.
But also not, because I'm not trying to call a woman a whore. But she acting a little hoish over here talking about like, let's not talk, let's just get right to fucking.
I thought you were about to be like, Xander says or orgasms.
Well, I did say I don't
turn into like a sex talk.
Well, we gotta have fun somehow.
Yes.
That's the only fun.
So elsewhere in Sunnydale, something sinister is beginning, and Christoph Beck's hush score cues in. High in a town clock tower, a pale hand opens an ornate box. As the lid rises, we cut to see a mist slip away from Buffy and Willow's mouth. Xander's, Giles, Olivia, along with some other residents of Sunnydale. Traveling in a high view town shot, the mist drifts thick through the night sky and converges upon the tower before entering and disappearing inside the box. Skeletal-like hands close the lid. Panning up beside it is the wicked, grinning figure from Buffy's dream. This shot of the smoke coming in, it kind of reminded me of like the way that it was, like the way Hocus Pocus does thing. Kind of remind me of the tower that Max and his sister and stuff, the family like live in, whenever the book was like glowing out, and kind of the same vibe you get when Sarah's calling the children's, or like singing the song to like lure the children in and stuff. I don't know why, but it kind of gave me that energy. This episode always really reminds me, I think I meant to say it in my opening thoughts too, it kind of gives like Sleepy Hollow vibes too. Like not the exact same way, but the eeriness of the of like what the Headless Horseman stands for and stuff like that, and what he's doing with the beheading and all this stuff. These people are viciously like ripping out hearts, whereas he's like cutting off bitches' heads and shit. And you don't know what's happening or what's going on too. So I feel like they kind of go hand in hand. You know, not to say like Billy Butcherson obviously is from that other movie, and he's in this episode playing the gentleman. So I thought that was interesting that they like, he probably felt right at home on the set of this, you know?
Yeah.
That being said too, like the gentlemen really do look cool. This is like the first long pan shot that you get to kind of see, because obviously as we get to go into the next scene a little bit later, we actually see them. But I wanted to take the moment here to talk about them because I found some like stuff online and everybody else has kind of discussed it in the past. So this will be some information from people that might be regurgitated, but here we are. I think they look like terrifying and creepy. Like as Courtney kind of said, like they're a problem. Apparently some people would be like into this, like the whole thing. But like for them to make these characters and be like, all right, we're going to make them a pale gray color. We're going to have them very bony in their structure, very detailed out. Like obviously all the makeup they did on their hands and stuff to make them look skeletal-like, but not an actual skeleton. The fact that they have silver plated teeth. Like they all got grills, like they all like T-Pain and Lil Wayne or some shit like that. Like they just come correct. I'm surprised we didn't see them like coming out with like their like hydraulic car or something, like, you know what I mean? I don't know, but they're really terrifying. And the fact that they're so scary looking, but then they wear proper like dress suits, like they're in a full on tuxedo essentially at this point. Special effects makeup wise though, originally on the show they had designed masks with more of like a frozen sculpted smile built directly into the silicone of the mask, and just days before filming Whedon intervened on the like makeup. He was like, no, I don't think we want to do that. Like we hired Doug and Camden specifically because their real smiles were very terrifying. That's like what got them the job. He's like, the way that Doug kept smiling at Joss within like his little test, whatever they call that, oh my god, why am I blanking on what they call these things? What did they do whenever audition? I don't know these things. I don't audition for anything. I always just get it. But he was like, that was what sold him, the fact that he like made him uncomfortable just like in his presence, the way he smiled at him doing his creepy stuff. He's like, no, we don't need to like have them under a static mask. That would make no sense. So he forced the effects shop to reformat the prosthetics for Jones and Toy specifically, because the other guys, they still have like a bottom jaw piece on, kind of like that slappy dude from American Horror Story Freak Show, if y'all watched that. It's just a mask that they put on, but they took time to actually make them look like that. And that's why I call them the two gentlemen, because they're the ones that actually got the most. But they wanted them to use their real muscles to smile too. And apparently Doug commented that he got severe muscle fatigue because his natural mouth was used so much that when he had to do those exaggerated, petrifying smiles for 12 hours a day while they were smiling, he said like he had to go like get stuff done. Like he was getting that massage or massage after in his next sessions with his massage therapist for sure. Like, and then he made frequent jokes in interviews that it felt like being trapped at a wedding photo session where your face permanently locks up too. Because, you know, like if you've ever had to take photos, me and Courtney don't know because we don't ever take photos, especially with each other. But
it's a sign of true best friendship. Yeah.
Literally though. But that's really like, even like I've made comments on here when me and Courtney get into a big laughing tangent and I'm like, oh my god, now my jaw hurts from grinning, from like holding that pressure from the laugh. I cannot imagine like having that problem. But the makeup was like really cool, obviously. And like to say that, like apparently they terrified a lot of the cast. Like a lot of the people were very uncomfortable with seeing the gentleman like having lunch on the set. You just look over there and there's this creepy figure over there eating a fucking sub sandwich or whatever they catered that day.
I think they still did like the hand gestures with it. Like they pick up their sandwich and they go.
And then the other one, he's like You got turkey? I love it. What do they call that? Whenever someone goes into like they really immerse themselves in the character and don't like let up.
Method acting.
Method acting.
Yeah.
They were very method in our minds.
And when someone talks on set, they like start freaking out.
Yeah. Apparently, though, Jones and Toy used to sneak up behind Amber Benson specifically because she was one of the ones that was actually really scared of them and would scare the fuck out of her, essentially, obviously, because like I said, she's genuinely terrified. But of all people to be like super excited about them and want to hang out with them and have like conversations, Sarah Michelle Gellar was like so won over by them. Despite the horror that they inflicted on screen, like Jones revealed in an interview at one point that Sarah Michelle Gellar loved their costumes, and a crew member even pulled them aside to mention that Gellar didn't always bond with guest actors, making their warm welcome into the Buffy family like a career highlight for him, because he's like, Sarah was so nice to them on set. She would like come over and talk to them and do all these things, and while they were in the makeup, because a lot of times when monsters would be on the set, people wouldn't really talk to them the same way. They would do their scenes with them, and then that would be that, especially when it's like a person that we don't really know putting on makeup. You don't really have to be like some crazy actor. The fact that Sarah ingratiated herself with these people and made him comment on it and be like, I really liked her, that's just awesome, and a testament to who she is as a person too. I again want to see those behind the scene moments of her being like walking around with them and just being like, cool, see, I had the sub, I had turkey, like, again.
Yeah, she's just like spinning a wooden stake.
Got it clipped on her hand with her little thing from
yes.
All right, back to the episode. The next morning, Buffy awakens, leaving the room to go to the bathroom, passing a crying girl in distress in the hall, but shrugs it off. Once back inside her bedroom, Willow awakens, stretching. Buffy calls out good morning to her, only to discover that she has no voice. At first, she assumes something is wrong with her throat, itching at her throat and clearing it and trying again, and Willow soon realizes the same thing has happened to her. The two begin to get the Wiggins and freak out together over the fact that they can't speak, trying to make sense of what's happening before they rush into the hallway and discover every student is suffering from the same condition. Panic starts to spread throughout the dorms as people desperately try and fail to make themselves heard. I really like the music where it cues in here in a different way. I'll talk about music a little bit more in a second, but that ominous tone really like pulls in for the score. It's not the same score that we hear for like the Gentleman or the stuff we heard earlier at the Clock Tower. Like when they're also trying to figure this stuff out, the way that they're using their mouth structures to actually enunciate the words they're saying. Watching them do this, like the freak out that seems so genuine too. The fact that they're really freaking out. Like, can y'all imagine waking up and not having your voice? And like, I mean, you being in this instance, as we've like theorized oftentimes on the podcast. Like, what would you be doing in this situation? Like, I'd be freaking the fuck out.
I'd be like them immediately walking around with a dry erase board, like about to read a whole lot of shit because if you piss me off, there's about to be a whole damn paragraph right here. Like,
you over here writing notes now? Like, damn.
Exactly.
You gonna visit Mark the whiteboard guy for sure and getting that money. You gonna get you said I've got $10. I'm gonna give you $5 tip.
I'm like, listen, you can be a grifter right now if you want to give me my money.
Well, if it's one thing we know how to talk about on this podcast, it's grifters.
We live in America.
Yeah.
True. Okay, anyways, over at Xander's second favorite scene, he awakens to the same nightmare and immediately blames Spike, who responds with a very clear gesture expressing his opinion of that accusation. I die at it because he turns to Spike and he's like, you did this to me, and we know that's not true because like before Xander like even does that, Spike clearly wants to know what's going on. His back's turned to him and he's like trying to talk, and we see Spike having that moment where he can't even speak and he's like, wait, what the fuck is happening? And then obviously he's getting blamed and he's like, bro, like I can't like be in the moment for a second before you just cast the blame on the villain. Like I get it.
How? What do you think he did?
Something. He'd been reading Giles' little spell books and playing around the house. And what's the first thing that Xander does after? He picks up the phone and starts calling. And Courtney goes, when we're watching the episode, she's like, why is he trying to call somebody? Like, she caught on real quick with that shit.
This is so dumb. I was like, come on now.
Come on. The best look is like when he turns around, the look Spike's giving him of like, what?
That would be me.
That's just funny though, because obviously it's like dial phones back in the day, like a regular like just landline that they're using. They didn't have, I mean, there was probably webcams in some way, shape, or form, but like nowadays, if you wanted to do something, you could at least FaceTime somebody and hold up like a message that you want to say, or just text differently or something like that. Like that would make this happening in 2026 would be a completely different. Everybody would be like, "This is perfect. We don't have to." Courtney don't answer her phone when people call.
I don't know talk to y'all anymore. Thank God.
That's what I'm saying. But also, what would we do on the podcast? That would be no more.
We would be a video podcast so quick.
Yep, holding up every message. I'd be
It's like
voice.
playing like 10-second clips or whatever's like legally allowed at a time of like each scene, and then like writing little notes about it and like holding them up.
So much work.
And people like comment and pictures and take pictures of themselves with their comment. And they're like, "We love this podcast," and that's how they like respond to us. Spotify instantly has to allow picture comments.
Well, thankfully Instagram would still be a thing, and honestly, all the people on TikTok doing them stupid ass dances could be still doing that too, because it's just music. But singer songwriters, they wouldn't be a thing anymore. There's just so much devastation that could happen had this been widespread. But
meanwhile, AI is like, haha, I win.
Literally. We see Buffy's phone ringing, obviously, because that's who he's calling her. She answers, and this is that moment too, because she answers it. She's just like, hello, but obviously nothing comes out. She rolls her eyes a little bit. She's like, bruh. And then Xander's on the other end, and he like catches on to what's occurring and hangs up. And like, this is the point too, where like within, because obviously this happens within 20 seconds, Courtney goes, exactly, like no one can hear each other, like hang the fucking phone up, go face to face with this shit. It was funny to watch Courtney's reactions to this. I did not record it for any of y'all. I'm so sorry, but it was funny to watch.
I love it.
So across town, Riley and Forrest at their place are making their way to the mirror to descend down into the initiative below their home. This is where I get onto the music, because the music between the scenes where everyone's finding out, like it starts slow and ominous, like I said with Buffy, and then we get into Xander's and it gets a little bit more chaotic. The violin starts screeching a little bit more like in the music. And by the time we get to Riley's, the tone of the music shifts into something more commanding and focused, like they're attempting to figure out what's going on. It's just a different type of assertion, which obviously like they're the initiative workers. They're the people that are going to like, you know, the military, the government's always going to be like, what the fuck's going on? We're going to need to be the first to know so that way we can control the situation, yada, yada, yada. That's typically how that type of bullshit works. But I feel like, again, the music for this episode was so important, and they very much delivered, like with every scene that they did, once everybody especially lost their voice, because music and like what you do in your body language and movements and stuff is all you got at that point. Once inside the elevator, they discovered that even the initiative security systems depend on voices, and unable to activate the elevator's voice recognition system we saw Riley use earlier, they nearly trigger lethal countermeasures in the form of green gas emitting from the walls. The men freak out, but are thankfully saved when the doors are open and Professor Walsh stands before them to silently point out the sign nearby that states, in case of emergency, use the damn stairs.
I love that scene. I think like setting it up early with like voice recognition and then coming back to not having a voice is such clever, subtle writing of like, you're not even thinking about it. And again, shows that Buffy is so smart. She immediately is like, we don't have a voice. I have to enunciate. And then the two men, Xander and Riley, are both like idiots who forget that they need to talk. Like Riley goes up to it and gives a, like, what is what is that gonna do?
That's all I got. Yeah, and earlier we did see that where Riley like goes, Riley, Finn, or like no, he doesn't say Riley. They say something. The Special Agent Riley is what it replies back. What he says, like one girl, like to get voice activation. So it lets us know like voice is important within the initiative. But we think it's a small thing then, but we don't realize how it's going to play out right here. Which it makes the sequence really cool too, because Forrest is smart enough to like have gotten a notepad and he's scribbling shit to Riley. He's talking about like it's all over town, and then during the intense gas out moment, he's like writing, even though Riley ain't looking, talking about, come on, like he's not even looking at it. And then and then what you said, I wrote in my notes, I was like, Riley over here coughing into that thing, like it's not a COVID test, like
what's it gonna go? Your breath stinks, you didn't brush, like what are we doing?
That's crazy. As the day continues, Sunnydale descends further into confusion. In the college lounge, Tara moves through it, watching people sit in silence together. That is until that one guy decides to drop his glass for absolutely no reason, and everyone is stunned how loud the silence is, because it's not. Like, this scene always confuses me. I get there. I like the scene for itself to show that everybody is going on about their day. Class might not be happening, but they're still like engaging with each other. People are sitting in silence together. There's still these operations going on. It wants us to know how loud something can be whenever there's not that filler space being taken up, because I mean it's a college campus at that, like just like you go out to a bar at night, it's gonna be loud. Can you imagine if no one was talking in the damn bar? Like you just hear drinks clinking and like like it's a whole thing. But I'm like, why did that guy drop that thing? Because if y'all watch this scene, this motherfucker walks up and goes like he didn't trip and drop the damn glass. He just walks out. He's like, I want the attention on me.
You're so judgmental. That is me. Just a klutz of like, oh, I forgot I was holding it for a second. My bad.
Like he got sweaty palms because he's freaking out or some shit. Yeah. Like, oh my god. Now he's got to awkwardly clean this up in front of everybody. I'm just like, oh my At least it's not Buffy. Buffy just walk off from that shit like when she dumped her yogurt and drink all over the floor. Buffy and Willow, we find them walking down Main Street together, heading towards Giles' place, taking in the collective chaos that's among them. We watch businesses close their doors, religious groups gather in public spaces awaiting the apocalypse, and liquor stores are thriving because people are running in and out of the damn liquor store. I'm like, shit. Coming along to find an opportunist selling dry erase boards for $10 a pop to desperate residents looking for ways to communicate. Buffy and Willow, I love how they casually kind of look at each other like he's crazy. But then we go over to Giles' house and the two arrive displaying that they are wearing the boards around their necks because they totally bought them.
I like to imagine they walk past and like, we don't even need that. Actually, like, I'll stay here. I'll be right back. And just give me a second.
So listen, I've got a couple options. Do you think Buffy beat him up and took his boards? Or do y'all think like Willow paid for them? Because for some reason, I don't feel like Buffy did.
I feel like Willow paid for them.
I feel like Willow would have cash on hand. Buffy probably would not. But also, if like we speculate back to like Buffy doing the whole drug operation at the Initiative, like we pondered back in the Initiative episode. So maybe Buffy did pay for these with her drug initiative money. Perhaps Paracassass. Not really. I really do think it was Willow. She pulled out that $20 bill real fucking quick. Mm-hmm. The Scoobies attempt to make sense of what's happening. Giles has no answers yet, and a news report appears on TV, and everyone listens as they claim the town is suffering from an epidemic of laryngitis and has been placed under quarantine. Nobody believes it, but nobody has a better explanation. Buffy becomes convinced that whatever stole their voices is still out there, and she grabs her board and scribbles to tell Giles to keep researching and that she should be out there tonight on patrol. He mouths why, and in a round of cutscene transition magic, we move over to the Initiative where Professor Walsh arrives. I always want to... Professor Walsh arrives at a similar conclusion, typing into a computer that auto-generates a robotic, aka AI voice, to speak her words as she voices to Riley and the commandos because there will be chaos. Like I want to do the robotic voice with that.
That was really good.
You will help keep order. You dress as civilians so a military presence won't cause more panic in the residents. This is so bad. But like, you know, people that like use the throat things like whenever they don't have speech or something, or people that are paralyzed, they can't use their vocal cords anymore too.
Like
they
Stephen
have like
Hawking kind of
okay, thank you so much, because I did not remember his name. Like the voice on this thing kind of sounds like those little like auto-generated things, and I was just like, oh my god, why is it always this awkward voice? Like now at least when I talk to like Chat GPT, I've got like a nice Australian man talking to me or something. It's not like a voice that's like this. Like the hell? Riley scribbles to question what's happening, and she claims that they are looking into it, but they need to go and start helping maintain order. That evening on Main Street, we pass by the town in further upset. People wandering around, cars wrecked, I guess for dramatic effect, because that one car is like right into a fire hydrant and it's just like pouring water all over it. I'm like, what happened here?
You don't need to talk to drive, you know?
He was on the phone like with somebody when it happened, and he was getting off the road because he was really upset, distracted, I guess, even though it happened overnight. Like this is just a couple hours. This is like when sundown has occurred. Like this is probably like what 3 or 4 hours after Buffy and Willow were on the way to Giles, and all of a sudden now this whole like there's been a flip. Now I get it when stuff like this happens, you know, typically there's looters and people doing stupid shit because they think they can get away with something whenever like the city's in quarantine. Where are the police officers helping keep? Why is Buffy and Riley out here as a presence?
When has Sunnydale ever literally had a police officer? Like, you name one time the cops have come and been like, hey, young girl, you shouldn't walk alone at night. People keep dying. Like...
Well, for seasons 1 through 3, I could excuse that the mayor told them not to do it because he was running the town and he was evil. But now there's no excuse because he's non-existent. Yeah. So, like, what are the cops doing? I mean, it really does go back to what they said. What was like Snyder? He's talking about the police in this town are deeply stupid.
Yes.
I guess it still tracks. But I just really need to know what happened with this guy in this car, because I was like, I know it's there for dramatic effect, but why is this car right on the side of the fucking road? I just don't know. Buffy catches a pair of men beginning to fight as Riley breaks them up, aka maintains order. Buffy moves over to them, helping Riley break up the encounter, and the two share a moment with one another in the middle of the growing chaos. I love that shit too, because those two men are about to fight, and like Riley gets them to separate, and then the one guy like clearly is still upset, and he goes to pick up that fucking bar, and Buffy walks by and snaps his damn arm back, and like he's just like didn't even know she was coming up from behind him. And since it's silent and there's no like scream or anything, you just hear the crack of his wrist and the fucking pipe like ding 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 on the ground afterwards. And she did it so cash too. I'm like, okay, bitch, like
iconic badass Buffy.
Fuck with it. Despite the silence, though, they manage to communicate better than they have in weeks, exchanging a hug and asking about how one another are. They confirm that they're both okay and hear heavy bangs, and each realize that they need to go their separate ways, aka to maintain order. When they begin to part, Riley suddenly pulls Buffy back, and the two share their first kiss as the Buffy and Riley theme plays for the first time during this sequence. I don't know why they got to do it every episode, but I live for these little scores. Like, I know we got the Bangel Close Your Eyes theme, but I like the little score that they do here, because like it's not in full spectrum yet, but you hear it a little bit, and it's just like as soon as I hear it, I'm pulled into everything that comes with the future, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh, I was like, okay, this is cool. So I'm happy that they shared their moment. Thank God they finally fucking kissed, because they've been wanting to do this for forever. But again, he followed Forrest's advice and just went ahead and kissed this bitch. Like, but that's all I guess he could do and stuff. Like, I'm here for it though. We fade into later that night, arriving at the clock tower, Brandon. Arriving at the clock tower, as the music grows cold and eerie again, the gentlemen emerge from hiding, floating out the door carrying black bags, slowly levitating forward as their bandaged and straitjacket-like minions chaotically skitter behind them.
Okay,
these guys...
Those minions are like ADHD toddlers. Like, they need to be on a leash or something.
Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah. Just like bouncing through chairs for no reason.
I wrote my notes. I was like, what an interesting way to portray these monsters. both sets of them, because like obviously the fact that the gentlemen don't walk, like we don't know, like we've just seen them up in the tower like moving and like turn around and grin. That's all we've seen so far. But the fact that they don't walk and they like levitate and float, like hover a half a foot off the ground, it makes sense in a way. I mean, obviously the sound doesn't bother them, but they don't want people to know they're coming, so it's like the way that they don't make noise, because they're sifting through the air so they can get in and out of place undisclosed, unheard. So I was like, that's interesting.
Why bring the loud ass dumbass who's just like knocking into every clanking around? Like, yeah.
That's the next part of my note says. Only thing you can really hear is the occasional clinking of the straitjacket buckles on these minions, because you hear them whenever Buffy's like getting chased down by them later or whatever. She hears them, and I'm like, the fuck? And I went on to go, who look fucking crazy, might I say? Not just because they're in this gear either. There's a whole thing about these little dudes. I don't know what they are. Like, obviously they're meant to hold and strap people down while the gentlemen do their work and stuff like that. But I was like, for them to portray them like as these straitjacket mental asylum looking crazy fucks, yes. I'm just like, it was a choice. Probably not the most, as this show tends to do, not so sympathetic to like people that probably have mental disorders, have wore these jackets and things. Like, the portrayal is a little bit insulting in certain ways. They would definitely be cancel cultured the fuck out these days if this episode came out like most other episodes.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting though, just like overall the gentlemen, like the display of how they get around was just a really interesting, captivating experience to see for the first time as a child watching this and stuff. And especially once they get moving, like as we go through in a second, but like them floating down the halls, the way they just waft their hands around and just like their movements are just so intricate and well designed. I want to know if that was just all Doug and Camden that just put in their mind, like they gave them a little bit to go with and they just ran with it, you know? They were like, yes, do that more, we like that. Like, I feel like that was the way to do it.
I loved it. It's just so airy. Even like when they point at the doors and it's just like a, I know, like it's so creepy.
Which I'm gonna get into. Floating silently through the darkness with their grotesque attendants following behind them. I call them something different, insulting every single time I talk about them. They drift through Sunnydale searching for victims. Olivia lies awake in the middle of the night and moves downstairs to spot one gliding past Giles' window as she peers through it, the sight terrifying her. Elsewhere in town, a pair of gentlemen are seen choosing a home and gliding up toward the door. Back at the college dorms, another pair of gentlemen enter, floating down its halls. We see they are passing by doors carefully, selecting which room they should invade. This is another element of the gentlemen, like I feel like I adore, that we were just talking about, like their personality. Obviously, like we were talking about the mime work that Doug specifically has under his belt. The fact that they pass through that one door and he looks over and he's like, no. Like, I'm just like, boy, and it's so comical in a way.
Yes.
And then he finally gets to the other one and he's like, yes. And they're like grinning and shaking their head. I'm like, but with them doing the motion, something specifically now, obviously my 2025, 2026 lens is like seeing him wag his finger this way and like doing the little, like, I don't know, the motions of the hands. Y'all know who the Goddess Boys are on like TikTok and Instagram? The black and white boy gay couple that like make the beverages and like slide the drink to you. And oh my God, I'm sending you it on Instagram. Other people might know because I live for these guys. Like, it's my favorite show on Instagram. 30-second clips of them they make delicious ass looking drinks all the time. I'm gonna send it to you guys and y'all are gonna be like, oh my God, that's the gentleman, literally, because of their mannerisms that they do. Like, because they don't, they're called the Goddess Boys on their platforms, but they don't, like, half the time, like they have videos of them talking when they're making their drinks. They just go And like they're just so casual and charismatic in that way. I was just like, live for them. If you guys know, you know. They pass by Buffy and Willow's room, closing off their journey down this hall before moving into the next hall over. And I really like that shot. I was telling Courtney, as they like sweep by, like showing the doors of the school room or school hall, they go inside of Buffy and Willow's beds and do the camera pan going the same way, almost like as if they just missed the opportunity to like possibly get murdered or hurt. Thank God the gentleman didn't go in there, because Buffy would have whooped out that ass. But and Willow would have been floating like shit around the room and hitting the books and stuff, since she can apparently levitate small things. But I just thought it was interesting, because I feel like Buffy's spider sense like should have noticed this, but these guys are like stealthy, so they can't hear them. But again, the clanks on the belt buckles, the dudes waddling down the damn hallway. I'm surprised Buffy didn't be like, who's out there moving around? Like, what's happening? The pair of gentlemen arrive at room 218 and are pleased with this room decision. Inside, a sleeping male student is awoken by knocks at the door, opening it to find these scary fuckers staring back at him. Before he can react, the minions rush in and quickly pin him down on his bed. His screams are completely silent, so you know that's terrifying enough in its fucking self. The gentlemen calmly sift in, take positions both on one side of the bed. They exchange devious looks with one another, their grin growing even more pleased. One retrieves a scalpel from his black medical bag, graciously hands it over to the other gentleman, who begins to slice into the man's bare chest. Unable to scream, unable to call for help, the boy becomes one of their victims. Back at the clock tower, our head gentle dude moves through the air carrying a heart contained within a sealed jar, placing it amongst the table with a wooden box, 7 other jars, 2 of others which have been filled by a heart. He turns back towards his fellow gentlemans, because that's what we're going to call them, and gives a "we done it" motion with his hands. The others begin to lightly applaud him and gas him the fuck up, him acting modest in his body language when receiving these thanks on a job well done. That's so much to get through. Like, just again, so much fucking personality from these people. Like, I love them, honestly. Now we finally kind of fully understand what's at stake here, though, because we now know what like can't even shout, can't even cry means. We understand the quote of "you're gonna die screaming, but you won't be heard." That's very much in front of your face. But can we just talk about like how terrifying it would be to die that way? Like being able to scream but not have any sound. Like I don't know if you get the same like emotion. It's just like when you cry or do things like that, you kind of get something out. Like, would it be dissatisfying to not be able to actually like get the scream out, but you're still vocalizing the air and stuff like Riley, you know?
A little cough. And to be just like awake while someone cuts your heart out, like that's visceral. That's I
ain't see them pull out Marcy's syringe and inject him with no paralytic. Like, no desensitizing, nothing. They're definitely no Bactarin on that table.
No, you're feeling every inch of that cut. They move slow for whatever reason, so it's like they take their time with that shit.
Literally so slow. And
that's exactly how they would do.
They kill me too with their personalities. Again, just like talking about what they're doing in the hallway and stuff too. Like that dude pulls out the damn scalpel and he looks at it and the other hands it to the other guy. He's like, "Why, thank you." Like, I'm just like, bro. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? I love them though, like because it's like who acts like this? That's why they're called the gentlemen. Because they're so personable. I want them to kill me, just not this way. Like choke me out first and then take my heart. You ain't got to do all the malicious killing. Like just strangle me out. I'm good to go. Honestly, make me one of your little strapped up minions. I got you.
Yes.
No, those things creep me out more than the other ones.
I hate the way they look. I want to know what their makeup consisted of because, like, you can't. They're moving around so much you really can't see until Buffy breaks that one's neck.
And I'm like, what are they underneath there? Are they kids or are they adults that are literally like straight?
What she called them ADHD.
Because I'm also like, ADHD like toddlers. Because I'm also like, are y'all sore after shooting these scenes? Like, y'all look uncomfortable. Yeah. And then on top of it, you can't walk normal, like also because of like the plot and the story, but also probably because of how you're like strapped up in this straight jacket.
Well, which is interesting because they're not actually, they're still in the straight jacket, but they're not strapped behind their bodies because obviously they have to use their arms to like pin people down for these people.
That's true.
Why even still wear the jacket at this point?
To be fucking creepy.
Yeah.
There's just something about it that's like, I can't.
Listen, a couple Halloweens ago when we had that Halloween party at Anna's a therapist, so she did a whole old school style asylum type thing for the house. And it was an awesome party, but like she was a doctor. There were people that came as nurses. There were some people that came as creepy, some people that came as kind of normal, but it was all within that kind of like asylum vibe. And I was the smart person that decided I was going to buy like a wig and chop it up and then like order a straight jacket on Amazon and go as like a mental patient. That got boring after about 2 hours because it's October here in South Carolina, so it's muggy and hot, disgusting outside. It's not actually cold like it should be. And I go upstairs and I change. I put eyeliner on. My hair is underneath braided under this thing. I take my braids out and I put my hair in a ponytail. I put this cute black thing on and I grab my steak that I've got in my little Buffy stuff that's up here. I'm getting the hiccups. And I go back downstairs and do a whole fucking like gender twisted Buffy thing. I have my like cross necklace on that Angel gave her and all those other things. So it's kind of funny how I went from one to the other. My point mentioning this story though is the whole time I was in that straight jacket, I didn't tie it because I wasn't going to walk. I would just, for picture posing, I would just hold my arms underneath my armpits. So it looked like I was strapped up, but obviously I still wanted to be able to eat the food at the freaking party because that was all I was doing at the party, was sitting over by the concessions. The concessions, the food. But like the whole time I was in that straight jacket, I couldn't help but like thinking about how I was probably looking like one of them fucking things off this, aka an ADHD toddler.
Yes.
I tell stories so weird, but at least I got it all out.
No, I love it.
The next morning, we find Buffy coming down the dorm's hallway where a campus attendant is moving students away from the deceased man's room. Buffy enters and is horrified at what happened to him. The fact that this guy's shooing other students away, but Buffy happens to slip by his ass and just goes in here to look and stuff like that. Where are the cops at? Like, why is this this is a college attendant. Like, this isn't some older dude that works at the campus as like security or something. He ain't got no authority. Like, he got this one girl that slipped by him. He ain't paying that much attention.
Not doing anything.
Close the damn door.
I like to headcanon that they actually, like, people don't know she's the Slayer, but they know she's like fixing stuff. And it's kind of like, listen, if anyone's got to see a dead body, I hope it's Buffy. Like, she'll figure it out.
Seriously, though. But, like, the fact that she's taken aback by this and what she's seeing, she's like, oh, shit, this is, like, serious. Now I've got to, like, really protect people. Again, like, Slayer hyperdrives kicks in. We go over to Giles, and he reads the newspaper reports describing the brutal murders, one of which was a 15-year-old girl found stabbed and how her heart was removed. Like, obviously, they've already got it was like there were 2 already on the table, and he brought the 3rd down, so they need 4 left to go. Like, the fact that that was no one deserves his death. This guy didn't deserve it, whoever the other people were, but a 15-year-old girl, can you imagine just, like, living your life being this 15-year-old self, and just all of a sudden these motherfuckers coming up in your house, stabbing your damn heart up, and you're like, I was supposed to get my driver's license tomorrow. Like,
how anyone in this town gets through, like, to be a mom who's like, oh yeah, one day everyone lost their voice and then my daughter got murdered in the night, but you know,
nope, next day it just goes back to normal. Everybody's not talking about stuff. Like, there are no funeral services or anything like that. Like, this poor child.
Yeah.
Like, someone lost their daughter that night. Somebody lost their possibly boyfriend. I mean, that guy was the son of somebody too. Just like we were talking about poor little what's his face in the freshman, and like all these other kid students that were disappearing because of Sunday and her little vampire class. Like, no one ever came looking for these people. Nope. They just like got the note that said, "I'm sorry, I have to go. Love, mom and dad." Like, whatever the fuck.
And accepted it.
Love, Dave.
The fact that anyone from out of town would go to Sunnydale University, like, it's you're gonna die. Pick any other state, go to community college, do something, like, move anywhere else.
Not in this town, because apparently this is community college. I need to go to a different community college.
Go somewhere else.
Basically, Olivia, what's she gonna be doing? Getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Speaking of her, though, Olivia is sitting nearby creating a sketch of the creature that she saw. When everything suddenly clicks into place, Giles moves over to his bookcase and pulls a book of fairy tales from his collection and begins preparing an explanation for the group. I love that too, because he sees the image that she's drawn. He's like, wait a minute, I've seen this before. And like, out of all the books that Giles has, we saw him cataloging his stuff with Xander and putting them on a shelf and stuff. He has this one just chilling on the desk amongst other stuff. Like, fairy tales ain't that important, Giles. Like, that should be in a box somewhere up in the attic.
No,
like, not just
every book.
Just like, but of course, naturally, they just like in the show, any other time they open up a page to a book and they're like, oh yeah, here it is. And I'm like, you didn't even have to look for that. Like, you're not Wesley Wyndham Price. Like, he knows them books back to page 1 to page whatever at the end. Like, he memorizes that shit. Giles, you gotta step it up. But I guess that's how he steps it up. Third best scene in the episode. Gathered in a lecture hall on campus, the Scoobies sit through one of the most memorable research sessions in this series. Unable to speak, Giles resorts to a classic 90s overhead projector, drawings, written notes, and dramatic music to explain the legend of the gentleman. And the song that he plays to is like Danse Macabre by the French composer Camille Saint-Saëns. 𝐸𝐸NS. I have no clue. But the music like really takes us there. Each slide hosts a picture Giles has drawn to tell the story, explaining over the course of them how these fairy tale monsters, the gentlemen, travel from town to town collecting several human hearts. They steal everyone's voice first because only a human scream can destroy them. Traditional weapons are useless. The gang follows along through a combination of drawings, gestures, and misunderstandings. Xander accidentally mistakes hearts for breasts. Buffy accidentally creates an awkward misunderstanding while mimicking staking them, aka jacking off, because everybody's like, what the fuck? Why would that be their first mindset too? Like, I mean, I get what she's doing with her hand position. It's comical, but I'm just like, once you see her pick up the steak, you're like definitely like, oh, okay, yeah. Like, clearly that you wasn't talking about the other thing. Why did we even go there? Willow then suggests using recorded sound from like a CD, but that won't work. Anya sits content the whole time, eating popcorn throughout the presentation of this. This is just the best time for her because she's like watching. As soon as Giles puts the slide down with the fucking heart being ripped out and stuff, she's like, and puts more popcorn in her mouth. And she's like, this is great. She's like, this is like a movie. Despite the humor, the information is grim, and the gentlemen already have at least a few hearts and only need a few more. The presentation comes to a close. Everyone begins to head out, and Buffy takes one final look at the image of the creature on one of the slides. How funny is Giles' presentation, though, honestly?
I love it.
The best. The fact that I have not seen a projector like this since like 6th grade, because now obviously projectors have come up a lot. Like a lot. Like that's what I watch my TV on. Like that's what I play video games on. I have a projector in my room. I don't got no damn TV, but it's not something I have to put slip slides into.
Yeah.
Like even college people, they used to have the ones with the little black slides that are like you have to on the rotation like circle thing that you like clip to flip to the next one. I'm like, do people even use those anymore? No, it's all USB and uploads like virtual shit.
Yeah.
Just like
Google Doc.
I don't know.
I love the slide because like they show Olivia drawing and she's like an artist, and that means she's there, and Giles is like, no, babe, I got this.
Let me have it with my stick figure.
I didn't even think of that. Oh my god. I did write that like Giles's drawings was given that kid Ryan whenever he drew the picture of Buffy slaying Durkindastar that he mailed to her house, and it's just like it's crazy. I'm like, oh my god. But you're right. Like, why didn't he get Olivia that's doing a fucking like she's like a damn artist, like straight up sketching this thing to the T.
Yeah.
And he's over here, he's like, Olivia, could you draw out these pictures if I describe what I would like for you to have on them? She like looked at him when he was leaving the house. She's like, you sure you don't want me to do that? He's like, no, I got this. He's like, babe, it's done.
This is gonna crush. You don't even know.
He's like, I gotta leave before there's another hot stove, and it's only an hour to sundown. Of course, we can't move along without speaking to the iconic Buffy will patrol tonight photo that he puts up there of Buffy, and it's iconic because obviously Buffy like looks down at herself, and Giles is drawing her with like, the most.
What the hell?
She looking like Balthazar on the damn tub, apparently, with what her hips are on the paper. Like he's done drawing her damn hips corner to corner of the damn slide in her eyes. Anyways, but again, misconstruing the stuff, and I'm like, Buffy, that's not what's important here, obviously, but it's so comical. And just to say, so many people in the Buffy fandom have this tattoo as well, whether it's just the picture that says Buffy will patrol tonight. This is like becoming like, I don't know, the fact that he took the time to draw her bow and arrow like she's got the crossbow. It's so perfect because that's her first.
Like, people are dying here, like getting their hearts ripped out, and Giles is like, yeah, but I don't feel like this has enough special effects. Like, is it really telling the story? Pass me the red pen because we got to show that it's blood. Like
all I needed was black and red that day.
Yes.
Moving along. As night falls again, we find Buffy outside on patrol while the others continue researching. Riley and the Initiative arm themselves and head out to begin searching the town as well. We see Riley soon after in the streets near the clock tower, his attention being drawn toward it at the sight of the shadows moving around inside of it. Where the fuck did this clock tower come from, by the way? Because, like, this thing has never been seen on the show before. Like,
never seen again.
Someone would be like, what is this and where did it spawn in from? Like, it's giving, like, this moment, too, that happens later with Riley in another episode where he's just like, you know, one thing I've never noticed in this town before? This big, creepy fucking house. Like, you know. If he can notice that, why didn't he notice this? Because, like, again, it's never seen again. It's not here. The fact that they built this on set too for this whole moment. We'll talk about the street later too.
Yes.
Meanwhile, in Tara's dorm room, we see her grabbing a post-it that has Willow's name and dorm room number written on it. She grabs her things to leave, carrying research about spells of speech and silence, and she makes her way towards Stevenson Hall. Outside, she trips and begins to pick up her spilled belongings, but she spots the gentleman moving toward her, more like she hears them clanking clankins of the fucking damn straps on them damn monsters, and she turns around and looks. Thank God, because if them things wasn't moving around in them damn things, she would have been snuck up on and her heart would have been ripped out right there. Just saying. So failure. Because that's why she got away. So, gentlemen, do you really need these lackeys? I don't think you do.
Don't need the little servants.
Take off their jackets. But she grows terrified and she gets the fuck out of there.
She runs like she just got legs that day. Like
she's the Little Mermaid. She's Tariel. I thought that was going to continue somewhere else.
No, that's it. I just hate the way she runs. I needed to call that out. I have it when we get to next part. I have another thought on that, but this is just. I watched her run and I was like, "Girl, you're gonna die. Have you not done any track lessons? Do you not know like pump your arms or stand up straight? Maybe what?
Girl, she don't like to talk. You know she ain't on no sports team to run and track and shit. What the fuck? What?
You could run in silence. I don't know.
I'm dead." Over with Buffy, she continues to roam, spotting one of the gentlemen outside of a home across the street before being jump scared by one of the minions and tackled towards the ground. Back over at the dorms, Tara pounds desperately on dorm doors while the gentlemen close in and nobody opens them out of fear. That's so interesting too, because that one girl, she like lifts up in bed and she's like, here's the pounding on the door. And like I told Courtney when we were watching, I was like, that's so scary. Because most of the time when people are beating on the door, if they have an emergency, you're like, help, let me in. Like you have something to go off of. Or someone being like, if it was me knocking on one of y'all's door, it'd be like, it's Brandon, let me in. Like it's me. But you don't know. All you have is this information that 3 people have died by getting their hearts taken out. Now you got someone beating on your fucking door. Hell no, yeah. Open that damn door. I feel
out the window.
Nope.
Cut back to Buffy taking on the minions effortlessly and whooping their asses. She breaks the neck of one of them as it falls lifeless to the ground. I love that shit because the other one looks at what she just did to it, because apparently she can kill these things, but she can't kill the gentleman, right? So he looks at his homie that just got his neck snapped and he goes running off and Buffy goes chasing off after him. And he's like, oh, like,
the roles reverse real quick.
Real fucking quick. He knew he done fucked up. He's like, well, I didn't expect her to do that. He's like, no one's done that to us before. We usually just have to worry about the whole voice thing. Like, I have to comment too, just the fact that Buffy, when she's fighting, we see Buffy use her fists a lot and obviously weaponry and stuff, but she utilizes a lot of kicks. Like she does a lot of high kicks to the face in this episode specifically. And I also have to call out, like, I'm not the hugest fan of pink, but I love her black on hot pink outfit that she's got going on right now. She's got the leather jacket over that hot pink halter top, and I'm like, we in for it. It's hot.
It eats.
At the clock tower, Riley enters and is tackled to the ground himself by one of the minions and retrieves a nightstick from his boot and begins to beat it with him before another pounces on his back. That shit was so funny. He pulled that shit out and it, like, opens up and he just starts whacking at them things. I was like, oh my God, they get their ass beat today. They was like, can we go to another town? We don't like this one anymore.
It's not fun.
Back at the college, Tara runs up a stairwell, eventually making it to Willow's hall. She begins beating frantically on a door, and Willow overhears the commotion and moves to open her door. That shot is really cool because we think she's opening the door to find Tara beating on it because of the way they're clipping back and forth. And like we see Tara beating on that one door, and then Willow obviously can just overhear it down the hall. She's a few doors down. And I like the way that they almost do like a bait and switch on us, because whenever the door opens up, we think it's about to be Willow, but it's the gentleman holding a heart. And Tara's like, oh shit. And then she takes off running down the hallway and bumps into fucking Willow, who comes out the door. It's like awesome. But what a way for these two to like meet back up, to like literally clash into each other too, you know?
Iconic. My note on that, they then like run down the hall. Willow, your door was right there. Your door with the lock was literally right behind you.
I mean, I would have probably got the fuck out there. I mean, yeah, who's to say these things can't beat down doors or like break in? Like, but I mean, they are gentlemen, so they're knocking and asking for entrance.
Yeah,
they're not just barging in. They are
they're
like
very polite
they're
about
getting greeted in. Like they basically, I mean, they're coming in uninvited once you open the door, but they're at least giving you the time to open the door. Giles would love them to come visit because they knock. Like, can you imagine? You're here to cut out my heart, but you're over here knocking on my door for me to enter.
Why they're the gentlemen.
Sorry to bother you, but we need your hearts, thank you. But we're not going to speak it. These people are fucking crazy. Back inside the clock tower, Riley continues to take on a few of these minions, getting overpowered and reaching for his gun-like weapon just out of reach on the floor. The minion that Buffy was chasing runs in through the front door. The way he runs in is so chaotic. Like, he's like flapping his little arms around more than they already were. Like, that's his way of signaling, like, guys, we got danger, like, hello. Like, you just feel like these guys are goofy as fuck. Buffy, though, crashes in through the boarded up window. She's on his ass, and this damn bitch just has to hop through a boarded up window. I'm like, Buffy, you could have just took the door once. Like, it's one step to the right. Like, it's trying to be dramatic. But the way she comes in is obviously dramatic. She crashes through and shoves that one guy, kicks a couple more back. Riley breaks free from his attackers and grabs his weapon just as Buffy reaches for her crossbow to point it behind her. Only when the two come face to face, they're aiming their weapons at one another and looking stunned and confused. Courtney, give us your thoughts, like, on the moment, because, you know, their secrets are forced into awareness at this point. Like, they probably did not expect this. Like, were you like...
Well, of course not. Why would you? I think the thing that sucks the most about it is the unfortunate circumstance of dealing with an episode where we can't talk, you know? So it's like this is the moment where I'd want to know the dialogue that would have taken place, because we don't really get anywhere from... I mean, we do and we don't, you know, like, obviously something is revealed, but they have no way to elaborate. They have no way to ask themselves questions, each other questions. They don't have
like,
any
what
way
are you
to
doing
get...
here? Like,
yeah, and they have no way to, like... I just wonder what they're both thinking, you know, because even though that there's a reveal, what are they revealing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, to Riley, what does this look like? Like, on either side, what does this look like? So I just feel like it's such an unfortunate thing for this to be the episode that this happens in, because I would want to know, like, exactly what's going on in their head right now, you know, because I feel like that's what we wait for these moments for.
Especially right here at this instance, too, because they're just not coming face to face. He's like, in his head, why do you have a crossbow? What are you doing here? Like, all those things are obviously running through his head. But then it goes into the rest of the sequence, and he's watching her perform all these feats that are just, like,
and that's
amazing
my point.
and astonishing to him. Like, literally, he's like, did she just do a bunch of cocaine before she got in here?
The girl who falls asleep in class is also this person, you know what I mean? So I'm just wondering, like, there's two polar opposite, like, ideas of her in his head at this point. I think he's probably thought about her one way this whole time, and then to see this obvious display of such an opposing force inside of her, I'm sure he's like, what? And then I wonder if he feels duped in a way, like, wait, I thought I was the one with the, like, mystery and with the secret, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I hate that we don't get that. Like, I know it adds to it and it takes us to the end of the episode where we're ultimately left on this cliffhanger, but this is where I'd want it, because it's, like, in the most real moment that like you get a person's real reaction to how they're feeling about what they're seeing. So I don't know. It's kind of... I love that it's over with, and I want to know now. I'm like, hurry up. I want to know where we're going to go from here. So the fact that it couldn't happen right then is kind of sucky, but at least it happened. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you thought, Kayla, the first time that you saw this?
Oh my God, it was so long ago. I don't know. Just that, like, to be caught in those hairs. And I was more astonished at Buffy's reflexes, which goes back to, like, the Faith episode. We see her learn this really fast, how to, like, pull back so she doesn't hurt anyone. But to have that instant of turning around, ready to shoot, like, a servant in the neck or something, and then go, oh, wait, no, that's my crush. Like, what? What are you doing here? Hold on. She's badass. Like,
on both sides, because we were obviously just talking more so about Riley's perspective on, like, what's happening, but Buffy's probably on the flip side of also being like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, but the funny thing is, in her mind though, and Buffy's pretty smart in her awareness half the time, she's just gotta look him head to toe and be like, you're in these commando outfits. Like, you know what I mean? She's already putting pieces together. He's got a whole other thing of being like, wait, where's the strength display coming from? Why are you fighting these creatures? Like, where is your place in this? You know what I mean? So it's so much more fun to, like, be on his side of things, because it's more baffling, versus her is like, she's like, oh, okay. Like, which, you know, will make sense, as we'll talk about that next episode. The next part I was going to start to say. But yeah, like, awesome moment. Neither have time to process it before the fight continues. Buffy and him turn away to begin fighting the minions once more. Buffy shoots one with her crossbow bolt. Riley fires a bolt of electricity from his gun. It finally shows us what the hell that damn thing does, but obviously it electroshocks his assailants. Buffy continues to treat hers like rag dolls as Riley struggles against others, eventually moving up to a platform, grabbing a rope and using it to swing kick, Buffy does, into another minion, seeing him flying when she makes contact completely across the room with, like, a heavy ass force. Riley watches, trying to make sense of what the fuck he's witnessing our girl doing. His face, like, Mark Blucas, like I said earlier about this being one of his first acting jobs ever, he nailed the assignment for this specifically, because, you know, like, again, like Courtney was saying, I wrote my notes like, what the fuck is this? The girl I'm dating has super strength or some shit? Like, valid in his mind because this is some 5'2" blonde girl he knows as a babbler from school. He definitely never expected this, and it all reads on his face, like in the moment that he's witnessing all this.
I wonder if any of it was just like his real reaction of like, oh, this little blonde girl is doing these stunts herself. There's no stunt double. That's just Sarah Michelle Gellar just out here like that.
Yeah.
What?
Well, especially in that one too, like because obviously we know Sophia Crawford is like her actual stunt double that does a lot of the heavier lifting and stuff. But I can 100% probably say that like Sarah got to get up in here like this and do these things in between the scenes too, just like holding her own, knowing the same choreography that everybody's doing, so they get those individual shots and stuff like that too. Testament to this woman's amazingness, just to say.
Incredible.
Back at Giles, Spike creates chaos entirely by accident when he grabs his Kiss the Librarian mug of blood from the fridge, sipping away at it, staining his lips with it. He moves over to move some books by Anya, who's sleeping on the couch beside him, and some knock over and fall to the floor. As he leans down to collect them, Xander walks in at the exact wrong moment and assumes that Spike has fed off her because, you know, he looks up at his vamp face and obviously he's got the blood smeared all over him, and he's just like, and the puzzled ass like, huh? Face that fucking James Marsters decided to make in this scene too. But then obviously Xander rushes him and he's like falling back, and like he notices in the moment what happens before like it reads on his face even, which again conveys such great things through the storytelling when they can't use their fucking mouth for him to be like, no, like his face says that. And starts punching him repeatedly until Anya wakes up and reveals that she's perfectly fine. Relieved and overwhelmed, Xander pulls her into a passionate hug and kiss. For the first time, he openly shows how much she means to him, and Anya is pleased with this and wastes no time suggesting with finger motions that they go elsewhere to stick his pee in her V.
Yeah. I also love the way she gets his attention because he's like beating the shit out of Spike, and Anya taps on his shoulder. She goes,
like with one finger.
Yeah.
I want to make a side note because I wrote it in my notes. The face that Spike makes when Xander's like lunging toward him and he realizes like, oh shit, this is like, exactly how great it is. So funny. I think it's like the first time that I actually have noticed like that he looks scared of something, even momentarily, because we're so used to him being a vampire and having all these abilities to not worry about being scared, you know. And then he has Xander of all people come in to lunge at him, and it's like he put 2 and 2 together real quick. So it's like this look of like shock that this is happening, but also realizing like what's going on, and it's so perfect. And I was just like, oh my god, I wonder what he's thinking. Like, I don't have my abilities right now, unfortunately.
And it sucks for him because he just got his ass handed to him by Xander, like you said, of all people.
Literally.
And then afterwards, Xander just like shrugs at him and is like, oopsie. Like, and he goes back to hugging Anya. I'm just like, oh my god, this is so funny.
So funny.
Unrealistic chaoticness, but we needed it. I also like, though, obviously in the moment too, because it connects to what they were saying earlier. And Anya's finally got some kind of display from Xander that shows that like she's got affirmation. She can affirm now without having to coerce him that he's got feelings for her, that he'll care, that he truly cares, because that's really what she was after. It wasn't so much that she needed to really hear every single morning like, hey, what'd you have for breakfast, like what are your plans for the day, even though that's awesome. She just wanted to know like some kind of thought about her was going through his mind when they weren't fucking. So
yeah.
Back at the dorms, Willow and Tara find temporary refuge inside a laundry room with the gentleman's attendants trying to break down the door. They attempt to barricade it with a vending machine, but it won't budge. You know, barricade it by pushing it with her hands. Willow tries to use magic, but can barely make it move. Tara realizes what she's attempting, and we peer down to see Tara softly interlocking fingers with Willow's. She peers into her eyes as if communicating by touch and mind power. Willow understands, and the two fully embrace one another's hands. They focus their power and both whip their heads over at the machine, only for it to slide effortlessly and powerfully into place at the door, sealing the entrance. The moment leaves both girls stunned, looking to one another, acknowledging what has just occurred. Bomb ass fucking moment. Like,
incredible.
That's fucking cool. Like the fact that they're clearly powerful together, the fact that like that's why when Willow was sitting in the Wicca group and she made that suggestion, Tara's face perked up so quick and had looked up. She was over there doodling her own thing, just in her own little world, and she heard that and she was like, hold up, there's another real witch. Like Tara had already clocked all these bitches with fake. She was just like, well, I got to get in where I can kind of fit in, at least I'm with somewhat like-minded people, and it's not other people that would probably pick on me or bother me, except this one head bitch that's like, Tara, everybody, Tara wants to talk. Like, fuck you, bitch ass motherfucker. Anyways, but awesome ass moment, just because they like put their power together. I didn't expect that the first time that was going to happen, but you quickly get entranced by what is occurring, and then when they do it, you're just like, oh shit. Like, any thoughts for you, Courtney, on like this moment? What do you think about like now that I guess this is a great time to say like, what do you think about Tara and like what do you think about her introduction?
Obviously, I'm getting major like lesbian vibes. Like,
oh shit, damn, what the fuck?
I am, and all the interaction with Willow's not helping because I feel like they're really honing down on like these intimate moments. So I don't know. That's all I can really think about when I see her. I do like the fact that she's obviously like very real, you know, in comparison to everything else that Willow especially is introduced to, as far as like the things that she's showing interest in and that like she's really honing in on. So I feel like she's a good energy to support Willow, and we haven't really had that. You know, like we've had that in instances, and I'm not saying Buffy's not like a supporter of Willow, because of course, but I feel like in her own department and in her own like very niche way, I feel like it's kind of opening this, I don't know, this like door where she kind of finally has someone who's for her in a way that someone can understand her fully. She doesn't have to go on over explaining stuff. She doesn't have to worry about these bitches in the witch group that aren't witches. Like, you know what I mean? So I feel like at least, and it's not Xander, someone who's like conflicting with like, I'm going to pretend to like you when it's convenient for me, but not otherwise, and toy with your emotions. And then Buffy's usually distracted with a boy. So like, I don't know. I feel like she's a good energy to have around. I'm excited to kind of like see how she has Willow evolve, but also just how we get to know her more, I guess. And like, I don't know, I'm curious to where's she come from? Who are you? I like you.
Right. I like Tara a lot too, just for what she like displays from this episode and stuff. Like, I don't know about all the lesbian shit, but the fact
maybe
that
that's
because you're gay.
It's a gaydar thing though, so I was like, I don't know.
No, I know.
Weird.
Just her meeting another like minded person, I think is really cool. And you like bring up a really good point for the fact that like even if it's platonic friendship wise, Oz was always kind of like, he was supportive of her doing magic, and he said that he was a big supporter of her, but he still did say stuff that was like, I don't want you messing around with dangerous stuff. And then he would Giles is always coming down on Willow, being like, you have to be careful with magic and things like that. This might just be one of these people that like can fully embrace magic alongside Willow and be like, hey, let's experiment together, apparently with their pussies.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And that's kind of
the
what
magic
I'm
happens.
saying, though. Like, I feel like she's someone who can kind of fan a different flame that we haven't seen someone else be able to do, regardless of the fact that she does have great friends and they are a great support system to her. But like you're saying, we haven't had like Oz even. He was a great boyfriend as far as we do until a certain point. And he was a great supporter. He's very open-minded, and those are all the things that you would want even your most neutral partner to be, and someone who's not like going to be jumping into what you're doing with you. But at least I think this opens a different wavelength of like I said, kind of fanning Willow's flame so we can actually see what she's also capable of. Because like you said, Brandon, I think Oz came from a place that was like, hey, I'm going to try to let you do you, but protect you at the same time, you know? And so I think that's limiting sometimes. And I don't think that this energy feels that way. I think she's going to bring out a side of Willow we haven't seen yet. So I think that's exciting.
All right, great. The final confrontation unfolds inside the clock tower. Buffy battles her way upstairs to only be overwhelmed by multiple attendants while the gentlemen linger in the room. The minions grab Buffy and hold her in place as the gentleman grabs the scalpel and moves towards her. He nearly makes it to her, but before he can harm her, Riley has reactivated his little gun thingy. Got the next bolt because it powers down again. I'm just like, does this thing only work every 10 minutes or something like that? Like, get it? But I like that though, because like the gentleman's moving towards her, and like you don't think about the fact that Riley's still there, and all of a sudden this motherfucker gets shot from the side and like goes down. I'm just like, damn. It's just kind of comical too to see this motherfucker go flying to the ground. I'm just like, that's what y'all get. He ain't floating no more. He's on the damn ground. Like, but also I'm kind of curious if like we saw the shot, if he like sways into the air and moves away and then like floats back into place. You know what I mean? Or if he really does take a tumble. Not important, but whatever. Riley arrives in time to intervene, having shot the guy, and the two fight side by side once more. During the struggle, Buffy is once again pinned by minions after the gentleman stabs her in the back from behind with the blade. She spots the ornate box from her dream and realizes it's the source of the stolen voices. Desperately trying to communicate this to Riley, banging on the barrel in front of her, she points toward it while he misunderstands her, smashing the liquid bottle next to it, which is the funniest thing. Is it's like dramatic, is like dun da 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 dun da 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 dun da, and he finally gets to it and he smashes it, and Buffy Buffy looks very defeated because he looks proud as fuck of himself. And he's like gesturing like, yeah, like, and she's like, no, sweetie, no. And then she starts obviously using her words in her hands and being like, opening and closing them to make it like the box gesture, like, no, the box, you dumb fucker. He gets it finally and hits it with the heel of his gun, and the misty voices burst free. Buffy and Riley's returning to their bodies as Buffy regains her voice, and she unleashes a powerful scream, one enough to shatter the gentlemen's heads, because it's just creepy as fuck. Like, I love the music. It reaches that I don't know, crescendo kind of in the music, because it's like, I'm not going to imitate it. I was going to. it's like those woms, and they're like freaking out, and all of a sudden like holding their hands by their heads, and they like snap them down, and their eyes just go like fucking bug eyed as shit, and then all of a sudden their heads explode. In the most disgusting probably display we've seen really on this show, because every single one of them explodes into like some kind of green goop.
Yeah.
Like, and then the attendants that they have, whatever minions, they like collapse too. So I'm like, did they die from the sounds also? Like, I just don't really get their purpose. Like, are they the same as the gentlemen? Are they like, they're like reject cousins or something? Like, so I guess they're the same thing. I don't know. Why didn't their head explode? They just pass out. Like,
are they like baby gentlemen? Like, you start as a little spaz and then learn manners and get a suit?
Who knows? I guess we'll never know. Whatever. The nightmare is over. Buffy and Riley stare at one another. It's the last part of that wrote. I wrote.
I love that scene because you count it, and I think that they did have 6 hearts, and you watch like them get one in the dorm. So like, this was their final opportunity before they did whatever
to get
they
one of
needed to
them.
do. Yeah.
But like, what's going to happen when they get the 7th heart? Like, what occurs? Can they talk again? Do they get 7 hearts and then they're able to hear people's voices, like, and not have their heads explode?
No clue.
Why only 7?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a good question.
It's just weird. The next day, Willow and Tara finally have a chance to talk. Moving through the college lounge, Tara reveals that she had been searching for Willow because she believed Willow was the only person in the Wicca group truly understanding magic, and was looking for her so they could do a spell to help people regain their voices. Willow asks how long Tara's been practicing, and she is fascinated to learn since forever, due to her mom being a powerful witch, and that's something that Tara compares that of Willow's level, and she denies being that powerful but still learning, calling back to last week's issues with magic gone wrong, claiming she's nothing special, and Tara is quick to reply, no, you are. Willow smiles at her, and you can tell these two are happy to have met one another. We're just gonna leave that there. Courtney.
What? I can't help it.
Courtney's like, and then they scissored.
Probably.
At Giles, he and Olivia discuss the reality of the supernatural world Giles inhabits, and Olivia admits that she never fully believed in his stories until now. Giles wonders whether that reality is too frightening for her, and Olivia lands on the fact that she is not sure, which kind of like makes you think that like she might not be visiting Giles quite as often as she was before. AKA never again, because technically this is the last time we ever see Olivia on the show. So,
which honestly, so valid, girl. You don't need to vacation in the Hellmouth. That's fine.
Now that she knows all the shit that he's been talking about all these years, she's like, you done told me a lot of stories. She said the dick ain't that good. She's like, I got another motherfucker I can find right back home. I ain't got to fly overseas for it. She's like, he's second up, but it's okay. Finally, in our closing scene, Riley visits Buffy's dorm room. He moves in to sit on Willow's bed, guessing the two of them need to talk, and Buffy sits on her own bed, agreeing. She guesses they do. They sit across from one another, knowing that they need to talk about everything that they've learned, and despite having their voices restored, neither knows what to say. They sit awkwardly in silence as we fade to black, and here endeth the episode. That pause is so long. We at least get a good 12 seconds of them just sitting, and Courtney sitting there watching the screen waiting for it, and then it goes to black. She's like, the fuck? I was like, don't worry.
So
I was like, don't worry, Courtney. I said, I'll spoil it in this way. We open right back up in the scene as soon as the next episode starts, so you're good to go there. That's it. That's not actually it, obviously. Quick themes and metaphor. I mean, that makes sense too. Obviously, you guys know that Hush is about communication and the different ways people struggle to connect with one another. Nearly every major character is having something that they need to express, something very important. Buffy and Riley are interested in each other. They can't move forward. Xander has the same problems with Anya. Willow is searching for genuine connection and belonging and can't communicate with her groups. All of that's displayed. The brilliance of the episode is that once everyone's voices are taken away, people actually become more honest, and Buffy and Riley finally kiss. Xander realizes how much Anya means to him, and Willow finds someone who truly understands her. The episode suggests that words can sometimes get in the way, allowing people to hide behind excuses, deflections, and half-truths. The gentlemen themselves are a metaphor for isolation and powerlessness. They don't just kill people, they remove their ability to communicate, leaving the entire town disconnected and unable to ask for help. In the end, the only thing capable of defeating them is a human voice, and that's what makes the ending so clever. After spending the entire episode unable to speak, Buffy and Riley finally have their voices back and the chance to be honest with each other, yet they still don't know what to say. The real problem was never silence. It was just the communication. Which, duh, that's what the episode's about. A few little Buffy fun facts. The episode marks Mark Blucas's Riley's main cast member status, so now he appears in the opening title sequence. Several scenes, as we talked about earlier, I said I'll mention the street, the clock tower, the street that the houses are at, that the people are visiting. If you guys are familiar with my favorite other show that I've talked about numerous times, Desperate Housewives, these are the set homes from Wisteria Lane from that iconic show. I'd already told Courtney that, but you can see like half these characters like houses, like if you know what Mary Alice Young lived in, if you know what houses Bree Vandecamp's, like you can literally see them in the background. I'm just like, it's like breaking the fourth wall between the shows. The first death scene was based on a dream Whedon had of a men floating as he lay in bed. So like that whole dream sequence of that dude getting his heart ripped out, that's where Joss got the idea, because he had a creepy ass dream. And I was like, Joss, you need to talk to a therapist about your mommy issues and your dreams.
Yep.
Whedon says that he can't believe the network let the joke on about the masturbation gesture like actually make it into the show. The network also had a problem with Anya's penetration gesture too, but apparently they didn't have enough of a problem for it to actually make it into the final cut. So why give them issues?
Yeah.
Clearly Buffy's scream at the end was not 𝐶𝑒𝐴 Geller. That was dubbed by another actor. Pretty close though. It does sound very similar to 𝐶𝑒𝐴 Geller, I will say, but it does sound kind of like unnatural, because I don't know anybody that could scream that long. But I guess Slayer pipes be piping, because that shit was long and in charge.
Yeah.
So initially Riley and Buffy were meant to have sex for the first time in this episode, which Whedon took comfort in because he thought that people wouldn't mind such a thing. He ultimately decided it was too early for the characters to sleep together, so he scrapped the idea, and obviously we got the kiss instead, which was so much more appropriate for them. Like, I think that we should save that would make Buffy look a little bit too like open for stuff. Like, we just had that whole Parker stuff. We don't need Buffy like open for somebody, quite literally.
No.
If anybody needs to be open, it's Tara and Willow, clearly.
Yeah.
Yes.
This episode was nominated for an Emmy Award, categorizing outstanding cinematography for a single camera series and outstanding writing for a drama series. They were just nominated. This damn show, 𝐶𝑒𝐴 Geller needed like 14 Oscars for the show alone, but she never got them. She got them Teen Choice Awards though. And then the final one for Halloween Horror Nights 15, which was many, many years ago, Universal in Orlando created a haunted maze based on this episode titled Body Collectors in the Gentlemen's Masks and Costumes, along with the Footmen, those creepy ass straitjacket guys, were all practical copies for the walkthrough of the haunted house and stuff that they had, which was interesting. I was like, to be a person attending Universal Studios that year, I would have just been living.
I would have been out of my mind being like, you'll never guess what this is about. Like, this is so uncool.
Ugh, need it. Yeah, instead of living, we can go on to sliving and get into our final slays.
Final slays.
Final slays. That was me acting like Riley. Normally I say something back to Courtney's final slays that has to do with the episode, and that's what I came up with this time. What did you guys have for quotes for the episode?
Mine is Buffy will patrol tonight. That's just too iconic to not.
It's like literally
also followed by her reaction, which isn't like a quotable situation, but I do love it because she's just like bro, why am I so big? Do you want me to go?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. We already talked about how we all love the quote where Giles is like, it could definitely be one of your prophetic dreams, or it could just be the eternal mystery that is your brain. And I also like when Anya to Xander's like, you don't care about what I think, you don't ask about my day, and Xander's like, you really did turn into a real girl, didn't you? And when Buffy says to Willow, no actual witches in your witch group.
I'm gonna follow that up because I like whenever she goes, no, it's a bunch of wanna blessed bees.
Yes.
Which is so funny because obviously in the witch community, like blessed bee is like a staple.
Yeah,
She's talking about wanna blessed bee. I was like, and then obviously she follows it up with that, talking about now every day a girl with a henna tattoo and a spice rack thinks she's a sister to the dark ones. And I was like, oh my god.
Yes.
That was in mine too, because it's my favorite, obviously being witch related.
Yeah.
Gotta love the Anya, anytime Anya says anything that's vulgar, I love, but like her being like, oh, an orgasm friend, and Giles is like, yeah, that's appalling. I like Riley, like this has always been a favorite for some reason. It's so little, but I love the fact whenever he's talking about the dream about when Buffy was sleeping at the beginning, he's like, tell me about your dream. As a psych major, I'm qualified to go, because that's like your common therapist like type version of stuff. I don't know why, I just always like that. And then I already said it kind of earlier, but I like whenever Anya and Xander enter and he's like, thank you for knocking, Giles, and then she's like, this is important, and Giles is like, yes, but why is it here? Like, why is this happening at my place? Take your shit elsewhere. Like, I need you to get the fuck out of my home. Who'd you guys award Shining Slayer to?
I had to give it to Riley this episode.
Why Riley?
I think he did. He broke the box. He got the voices back.
True.
Yeah.
It took him 2 times, but he did it.
You know?
That's how it is.
Yeah.
I kind of went there. I said that it was like a team effort. I once gave it to Giles because he figured out about the gentleman, so they wouldn't have known like exactly what like kills them, or that Buffy needs to like scream as soon as she gets her voice back, or all these things. And then obviously Riley and Buffy for contributing to the end of this episode ending as gracefully as it could, even though apparently 7 people lost their hearts. So a little bit late, but did it nonetheless.
Yeah. I had to give it to Buffy and Riley just because they're kicking ass together and stuff. And I was like, oh, to see them fight side by side is so cool.
So hot.
It is.
Equally matched, as Buffy usually gets lucky with most of the time. Weekly wigs. What wigged y'all the fuck out?
The gentleman. Those eyes and hands. What?
Yeah.
I said the gentleman, especially the straitjacket demons, because the way that they like maneuver and walk / not, I don't even know what to call what they do. The way they move around, at least like the gentleman, they look scary as fuck and they're definitely nightmare worthy, but they can't hardly move. It's like a Michael Myers situation where you're looking back and you're like, this man's not running.
Can you imagine
if I just
run through
pick
the
up
air
the
and they're
pace,
just like,
yeah. Yeah. But these other things are like really going for it. So yeah, but
clearly it's the gentleman. That's what I wrote. I was like, clearly the gentleman's creepy ass smiling faces. And I was like, I wrote they be so happy to cut out hearts of the living.
Yeah.
And with that, obviously my true wigs goes for like the people that lost their lives tonight in this horrific way, like being pinned down, unable to scream, like truly terrifying while you get your heart
That's
cut
awful.
out. That's just
Nightmare
like
stuff.
Nightmare fuel. That Slade moment. For mine, I chose all the times in the clock tower that Buffy made Riley's face go, what the fuck am I witnessing, over her Slayer moves. Like the crossbow shot across the room, the swinging kick, like capital YAS for Yas. And hello when Buffy snapped that fucker's arm back effortlessly with the metal bar. And then when I have like 3 that Slade, sorry. And then when she cracked the guy's neck and he ran off because he was like, oh shit, the fuck? I'm like, all right, get out of here. So.
Like, damn.
All of that Slade to me because it's a Slade worthy episode.
And it is.
I stole all of y'all's.
Yeah, you did.
Whoops.
Well, I did add in there Xander going ham on Spike over Anya because I was like, not something I foresaw, but that was kind of badass.
Yeah.
And then also Willow and Tara moving the soda machine with their magic.
Iconic.
I should have chose that.
I love it.
I didn't want to have 12 of that Slade moments because I usually only choose 1.
You had enough.
Yeah, you took all of them.
I was trying to eat you guys. Did I actually steal one of yours? That you had? Yeah.
She's like, you did them all.
Which one was it?
It's gonna be the way she snaps the wrist, especially because like Riley's being all cool and gentlemanly, and it's like, no, you got to be calm, and Buffy just like breaks his arm.
Slade. All right, Slayer at predictions. Courtney, the only one I got for you is that the next episode is entitled Doomed.
Oh. Well, that's vague. That could be anything. I mean, clearly the show goes on. So Buffy doesn't die. So she's not completely doomed. Obviously, that sounds like a world of bad shit happens. So I guess I'm going to prepare for something negative.
Okay.
That's generally safe. So
yeah, for sure. I don't feel like it would be like a crazy spoiler to let you know that like the next episode they're calling it Doomed because there is the potential of another apocalypse occurring, like a big one. So
oh, great. Love that. Love that for them.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that about covers it. Actually, that doesn't about cover it. That does cover it for our recap on Hush. Let us know if this is one of your favorite Buffy episodes. How do you feel about the show stripping away dialogue and telling the story in such a unique way? What do you think of the gentlemen? And what are your thoughts on Buffy and Riley finally coming face to face and seeing each other for who they really are? Share all your thoughts with us as Kailah on the screen makes kissy things with her hands and pets her cat. Jinx. That being said, Kailah, thank you for coming to join us for this one. We had to have a guest on it, and I'm so happy that it was you. Do you want to let everyone know where they can find you on social media and anything that you've got coming up that you want to plug?
Yeah, find me on Instagram at k.p.written, I think. Written is like writing, for more Buffy jokes and stupid humor. Find me around Chicago doing stand-up wherever people will pay me to do that. And come to the Lincoln Lodge first Tuesday of the month for Giggle Hour. It is a comedy poetry show. It is so fun. It's wild. It's stupid. It's great.
Love that. Me and Courtney will have to come see you at some point.
Please do.
Since we're all friends now.
Yes, besties.
That's like close to New York, but it's not a New York. We'll go and make a decision on Chicago. So,
yeah.
Because we went to New York once together and we were like, we're not going back here.
Why'd you hate New
We'll
York?
have to try it.
We didn't hate it. It was just there was a lot going on. I can't remember the specific reason, but it was like April when we went. And it was still a little bit cold, and we were just like, we should have came a different time of year. We found it a little bit underwhelming, but we also are like very stimulated people very quickly and get sensitive to energy. And are just so for a first time trip, it was like a lot going on. We're like, can we go back to our Airbnb and just get stoned all day?
Yeah.
So that's what we did. So. Okay,
come to Chicago. I'll give you the right amount of stimulation, and it will include getting stoned. We'll have a great time.
Oh, okay, that'll work.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, cool. All right, great. Well, we'll catch you guys next week as we head back over to Angel and see what happens after Doyle's heartbreaking sacrifice in Hero. How will the team move forward without him? Tune in to find out. Otherwise, we'll talk to you then.
Do you hear that? To take 7 and they might take yours. Can't call to mom, can't say a word. You're gonna die screaming, but you won't be heard.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Buffy on Revamped. Remember to join us next week for a new episode release as we continue our journey through Sunnydale along with our Scoobies. We would love to hear from you, so share your thoughts. Discuss with us your perspectives on this or previous week's episodes by following us on Instagram and sending us a DM at revamped_rewatch podcast or by emailing us at revampedrewatchpod@gmail.com.
And if you're interested in a world left behind, check out my show, Echoes of Elsewhere, an urban exploration podcast where I uncover the hidden mysteries of forgotten places, interview other explorers, and share with you my tips and tricks of the trade. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time,
the Earth is definitely doomed. This podcast is dedicated to the Buffyverse, to its fans, and my sister, Tiffany Dawn Pearson.